welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. You're here, you're live. It is the #1 show, our little internet show we like to do now that the internet is opened up and free for everybody. We're doing broadcasting video on it. We made this happen, the first internet video podcast, and I gotta say, I think things are going great. It is Friday, April. Well, okay. Should we just stop with the Thursday, Friday stuff? It's Thursday. It's Friday's show, but it's Thursday, April 9th for Friday.
What are days
April 10th,
anymore?
2020, episode 255. I'm joined by Abby Russell.
Hello, that's me. You want to know how it's me?
How do I know it's you?
By the squeak.
Oh.
You hear that?
Yeah.
That's how you know. It's my signature. It's my
there it
calling.
Oh, I don't like it.
I'm joined by Alex Navarro.
Hello, I'm here. I'm alive. My chair does not creak.
I'm joined by Jeff Bacalar.
There's no way my rotating chair squeaks. It's been rotated too much.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Good one.
Hello?
Yes.
You guys hear me?
I mean, that was like a joke.
Hello?
Damn! just
We're just starting off early. Can you not hear us, Jeff?
Hello?
Do you not
Can you not hear us roasting you?
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah,
You
all
got it,
He's
right?
just-
Okay.
He's just fucking with us.
It cuts too deep. I'm sick of it. I'm just
Should we
sick of
get
it.
should we get started? Should we
Don't
get
Now that the
started?
yeehaw
that
is
again.
completed, yes.
Yes.
Don't do that again, please.
I'm never gonna add anything else to that soundboard. It's just gonna be that one. I figure that's what soundboards are. Just one really,
I love that.
one really funny yeehaw. And that's why.
Truly,
It's
I
more-
think those are the best jokes is when you have a thing that's really funny at first, and you keep doing it until
Yeah.
it's not funny anymore,
Yeah.
and then you keep doing it until
Yeah.
it becomes funny again.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
That's
that is
how
like
comedy
genuinely
works.
the best joke.
Just
Agreed.
like
It's like a true flatline joke.
or the definition of this podcast.
Yeah.
stick around, folks. We're
Which
gonna
part
go.
are we? Yeah, it's a circle.
We're gonna come back. Episode 400 is gonna be a banger.
We are.
Yes.
I was gonna say we're now 3 weeks into lockdown. Everyone, I would love to know what stage of lockdown we've all reached. Like, what thing have you found yourself doing? Where are you at now? Like, what level of insane have you gone?
So I feel like my first couple weeks, I was like, my apartment's clean. I'm cooking these like nice, healthy meals. I'm like getting up early. My sleep schedule's on track. And now I'm like, I cannot go to bed on time. My
Mhm.
apartment is a mess. I've only eaten Velveeta mac and cheese and hot dogs.
Yeah.
So I'm at the stage where I'm lazy. And I
Great.
need to like get back into like a normal person's routine.
I've reached the stage of the quarantine where I no longer have any concept of space and time. Days blur together. I forget dinners. I forget what day it is. I
Yeah.
go to bed at 2:30. I wake up at 9 o'clock. I don't know what exactly I'm really doing on a day-to-day basis. I forget meetings. If I didn't have a phone that alerted me of calendar events, I would be I would get nowhere. And I cannot. The biggest surprise, there is some truth to all the things I just said, but the biggest surprise is that the days are going by very fast.
Yes.
And I know that's maybe not what you think. I know, Vinny, is there a spaceship in your basement? What did you just see there?
Thunder.
I don't know what it is, but days are flying by. I feel like the weekend comes, if you can call it a weekend, and the next thing I know, it's like Beastcast time, and I'm just like, where the fuck was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What happened?
Well, here's what it is. It's not that the days are flying by. It's that they're all blending together. Like all
Yeah.
the hours are starting to resemble each other. And so the passage of time is sort of warping in your brain in a way that is probably not good.
I'll tell you this: if it was winter time and the daylight was shorter, we'd really
Oh,
be
boy.
a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
You know what I
Who's
mean?
Cuckoo. Yeah, cuckoo.
See?
Yeah, cuckoo back.
Do you know what I mean? Look at this guy.
Look at me.
But I
yeah.
feel like for me though, like with it becoming summer, it's a little bit weird of like when I went into this, I was wearing a parka. And now when I go outside, I'm like in short sleeves, the very occasions I do go outside. So I think if it was like winter, it'd be like, whatever, this is what I'd be doing anyway. Just like get cozy inside. But now
Yeah.
it's getting pleasant out. And I'm like, oh, I would like to leave.
I don't know. The weather said we might be getting some snow in the near future. So who
Wait, are you
fucking knows?
serious?
Yeah. I don't think it is. I think the hail that we're having now is probably what that will actually be.
Oh, yeah,
but
we just
yes.
had hail here.
It just
That was
looks
wild.
real like overcast for me.
Cloudy.
So,
Yeah, we're supposed to get a thunderstorm.
Jeff Backler,
Cool.
you're further west than I am. I assume this storm is moving from west to east because I just started getting that thunder.
Well, I'm not a fucking meteorologist. I don't
Okay.
know.
Jeff,
Yeah,
we'll get a green screen and do the
Yeah,
weather.
Jeff,
That would
do the
be so
weather.
fun.
Jeff, but I want you to be the fucking meteorologist. So just kind of like get a green screen and a big sensor bar over you while you're out there.
Wait, like a mosaic bar over my
Just like,
privates?
oh,
or something?
Yeah.
look at this storm coming. Like,
I feel like the nude meteorologist has been done somewhere.
You're
before.
right. You gotta step it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to fuck weather. I don't want to do that. What?
Listen,
I
we all you said time is going by too quickly. I got a couple of ways you could spend it.
Look, you got to fuck some kind
Fucking
of
the
meteorological process. Might as well be the weather.
That's
I
right.
agree.
Okay. All right.
Vinny, how
Yeah.
are you doing? Where are you at?
I'm doing fantastic because the kids are on. We're in Jersey, not New York, so the kids actually got their spring break, and that means I don't have to do the morning school
Weird.
stuff in the
Oh, that's
morning.
good.
So they're that's fantastic. So today we went up. We have a tiny little like patch of trees in our neighborhood. We went up over there, grabbed some pond samples, and from some little footprint. Like a tree had fallen over, grabbed some water, and then looked at it under a microscope today. It was a lot of fun, and it was disgusting. And now I don't want to go back outside because boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, they're not wrong. Science is amazing, and it's terrifying, and you don't want to know what's out there. So I did that, and then I vomited, and now I'm down here. It's
Did you look at the vomit under a microscope?
Yeah, yes, it was just a bunch of my face screaming. That was terrifying.
Oh my god. Oh, it's like
It is
20
weird.
minutes. Oh.
So, do we get like a Easter break? Is that a thing that we? It's like
What?
that's the thing I
think
can't
we
imagine. Like,
do
are we gonna have to have a break at home?
I think we do technically still get days off that we're supposed to get off.
I know, but like, when are they? I
If
don't
we
even
worked
know.
from home full time, we would get holidays.
I am
Like,
not
you know what?
stupid. I'm just saying it's weird.
You know what?
hey,
if I'm
you
still
said
getting
it, not me.
if I'm still getting email notifications about my InfoSec security training that I'm overdue on, then I still get my fucking days off. That's how this is
Goddamn
gonna
right.
go.
I
You're
do.
goddamn right.
I do sometimes wish there was maybe a little bit more like we all talk to each other every day, but sometimes I'm not sure what's going on the outside, especially since this company is mostly based, the interactive part's mostly based in San Francisco. We do get emails like every week, but sometimes I feel like, are we going to know when people have gone back to the office or not, or are we just going to continue here? Like the communication is like
it's
on a
crazy.
lag.
The office is closed 2 years later.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
we're still out here. Alex, I feel like I'm sort of beginning to feel a little bit like maybe you did during those years when you were out in New York and everybody was in San Francisco, not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
No, it's very stressful. Anyway, my stress levels have gone down because the schoolwork stuff is pretty stressful for me, but we've been doing a lot of, I wake up in the morning right now, so since the kids are on spring break, I don't have to get dressed right away, so we can come down my PJs, check my turnip prices, write them down on a piece of paper, go to the little weird Reddit app I found on Reddit to check turnip price predictability, go see where I'm at. And then get mad, and then be like, oh, I gotta wait for tomorrow, and then we do like an activity, and then I swap over about noon and come downstairs for work with my wife, and it's been okay. I'm doing all right.
All right.
Yeah, doing
That's
okay.
good.
Yeah, that's
good.
good.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was to say I've kind of hit that same point that Jeff has, where the days are starting to blend together, and literally the stream schedule is the thing that feels like the binding agent that is keeping my sanity in check, because I know what
Same.
times I need to be places because I'm doing streams. I've started to get a little more into the idea of virtual versions of actual social things that I used to do. My band guys have been checking in now and again. We're kind of working on new material here and there. Last week, I had my first virtual poker game with the people that I play poker with every now and again.
That's so adorable.
including
Did you bet virtual money?
no, like we buy in and then we bet with virtual chips. And it's so like it's Dan, it's Jason Schreier, and some of Jason Schreier's friends, and we all play together.
So does everybody like
and-
put their cards up and then are like, oh man, full house
No.
again, guys? I guess I win.
We're using one of those chintzy poker apps. What you know,
Okay.
it's money, so it's technically legal. But what I realized while playing it was that I I don't know what the fuck to do with my hands when I'm not actually playing poker. And when I play, I usually am like fiddling with chips and stuff. and that made me really anxious. So I went into my closet and I went looking for poker chips just to fucking fiddle with.
That's
and
cool.
I found, I'm going to hold these up to the camera,
Okay,
and I will describe them for everyone. It is the officially licensed Grand Theft Auto San Andreas poker chips they sent out back in like 2004 with the Four Dragons Casino branding on it.
Cool.
I have a whole set of those apparently, which I totally forgot about. So I found my great news, guys. I found my San Andreas poker chips.
We're all gonna be okay. It's all gonna
I
be
was
all right.
It's gonna be all right.
I have not lost track of the days, mostly because I have a giant calendar now that we have to use for the kindergarten. What day is it today? And it is just out constantly. So I know all the days. I know Passover, Easter, all the holidays, and I'm very aware of the day each day.
Oh, right. It's Passover.
That's right. Happy Passover, and then Easter's
Are
coming
any of you
up.
doing a virtual Seder?
Seder? No.
Apparently, that's the thing people are doing.
I know.
Yeah.
I have virtual cedars
People are
in
doing
my my Animal
Okay,
Crossing.
all right, there it is.
But yeah, we had some matzo ball soup last night. Left on our porch by my lovely mother-in-law. Thank you very much. And then we will figure out what to do for Easter. We're a little behind the ball on that one. A little behind the egg.
I don't even know what day
Oh,
Easter's
boy.
on.
It's this Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
It's always
Oh,
a
really?
Sunday.
Oh,
You
so
should-
wait, we're
That's
gonna
why it's called
days off
Easter
work
Sunday.
soon.
It,
We're gonna get days off work, no?
It's a
I don't know
Sunday.
if we get these.
We usually get like an
You know
Easter
what?
break,
Abby,
no?
I think
you
you're
don't
right.
wanna- you don't
I
want to
thought we
work
get
on
Easter,
Sunday. Don't work
Easter
on Sunday.
break.
No, I don't think we get an Easter break.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
CBS is a godless
This
company.
is what I was asking. You guys thought I was
No,
so
we don't
stupid.
get off for Passover either,
Yeah.
and that shit's during the week.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
what you
sure,
were
yeah.
asking, Abby, what you were asking was, do we still get the days off we're supposed to get? But I
No.
think in this case, we don't actually get Easter off.
Yeah, we
I
never
was
got Easter off.
asking
We
if
never
there was
got it
a
off.
day off for Easter. I just
No.
phrased it poorly,
Okay.
but it was more of
Yeah.
a hypothetical. Isn't this going to be weird?
Well,
kinda
guess
thing.
what? You get made fun of the clothes you wear, and then you get a little ornery about everything else that comes into your headphones.
Hey,
Why don't you creak your chair some more, huh?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
all-
go
it's
on.
all- oh
Go get
no.
the WD-40. Seriously.
Why all this?
Ugh.
Why all
Ugh.
this? That's the sound
why.
of the games. So Animal Crossing. Speaking of Bunny Day, what's up with this,
Ugh.
folks? What's up with this Bunny Day? Am I right?
Did
It's
you see
just-
they patched it?
I
They
did.
did. They
I
nerfed
was-
the eggs. They're still everywhere. I don't fish anymore at all because of the freaking eggs. I
The
hate-
frequency
hate
does
the
seem
Bunny
lower,
Day.
though.
So I have a
Yes.
the best thing about Bunny Day is the now room that I know other people have made too. If you're anything like me, you have put all the Bunny Day decorations into this really horror show of a room that just has and if you're anything like me, you have put all the outfits on stands with like the shoes,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the thing, the little hat.
Mine are on the wall.
Oh, they're on the wall. Perfect. And that room just looks like murder is going to happen in there. It just is it's a murder room. I don't have the second expansion to the house yet, so it's just my main living area. And it is too many eggs, and now I'm done with the eggs. I'm gonna sell them, I guess. I don't know what to do with all the eggs.
What I think
I've been
so. What
selling
I've
them.
been doing. No, don't sell them. Craft that dress, the like bunny dress with like that you get after you get all the eggs.
Got
I think
it.
it's worth like 7,000 bells or something. So what I've been
Oh.
doing is I've been crafting those and selling those.
Okay, maybe
And
I'll
then
do
save
that.
some of the eggs because I think you're gonna get another recipe if you've made everything from Zipper, who sucks ass.
That's too much work. I'm just going to sell all the eggs. I've been selling
I
all
think
my
that's
eggs.
also fair. I've also been using the eggs to eat because I've been like
Yeah.
digging up trees and shit. So it's nice
Yeah.
to have like, oh, I don't have to eat fruit. I can just eat these eggs.
Do you have you guys been just trying to collect cherry blossoms as well? I'm kind of storing them as they kind of float
Here
I
in
do,
and
there.
there.
yeah. I like the cherry blossom DIYs a lot, so I've been collecting them so I can make them because it's also like a temporary seasonal thing. That way, like, oh, I can make them whenever. But I'm also making a beautiful Zen garden, and they've
That's
been
beautiful.
good for that. So
I saw
have been-
someone made an entire path system in their town just using the little like pedal
Oh,
paths.
really?
So it was actually very lovely to look at.
Cool.
Um,
I want to see that.
All right, I'm gonna start talking. I'm enjoying the Animal Crossing, but I'm gonna start talking about my experience now that I'm pretty far in here in terms of stuff that really bugs me. So
Okay, great.
Oh, okay. Here we
yeah,
go.
Here we go. I don't need to be alerted that I got a cherry blossom and describe it every time I get a cherry blossom. Just put it in the net, put it in the net, put it in my pocket, be done with it. I don't need because
that I don't mind so much.
It takes too much time. The other thing is, I think I was hoping this wouldn't be the case, but I put down a bunny fence, or my son actually put down a bunny fence around his money tree to mark off where his money tree that he planted was. But I can just walk up to that fence and push Y and delete and take the fence in my pocket. So I was hoping that like fences and stuff that other residents put down would not be movable, but they're like anything else, and you can move them around. I find that to be frustrating in the shared island sense. But the biggest shared island drama that is happening in the Caravella household is that so Max is, I don't know, the president of the island. It's his island basically.
He's the human rep.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets the stuff from Tom Nook that's like, hey, build these houses for these new residents. And then when I go talk to Tom Nook is like, I'm like, what should I do? And he's like, you should go talk to Max. And it's like,
oh really?
I can't participate in that at all. I can't even go to the boxes. I can't drop stuff off. I can't see what he needs. I can't do anything with pertaining to that. I can't donate to the bridges. So all of that stuff only he can donate to, and only he gets all the DIY recipes that you get for doing that stuff. So I didn't get any of the recipes for the furniture, for adding stuff to the houses. I can't move the game forward.
Oh, you didn't get the DIYs. That is brutal.
Yeah. So you don't get any of that stuff. It's really tough. It's
a very compromised experience compared to what like the number one player in that game gets.
Yeah, and just considering that you can't start a new island seems really unfair, I'll just say. Like the one island per Switch thing for houses that have families in them seems like, well, you have to pick the person who's gonna be the mainstay of this, right? You literally have to choose the person whose main game it's going to be. Maybe that goes away as you get into end game stuff and you're not on that cycle, but it's a bummer.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, I think we may have talked about this in like another stream or something. I don't remember exactly where, but every other Animal Crossing game I think was also a shared town on a shared system. So, that's sort of been the history of it. It is a little weird, I think, because the Switch is like not fully a handheld, not fully a home console, and there are like multiple families on one Switch, I think now. But I don't know. I also couldn't imagine the appeal of playing that game as like somebody, I don't know. I always would have guests be in my town as like, this is my like secondary character I built so I could have like another house that looks good or something. You know what I mean?
Right. But like, imagine like, imagine like you had like a partner or significant other living there that's like, I want to play too. And they're like, well, buy your own Switch. This is mine now.
Yeah.
Like it just seems, it seems compromised, like Alex said, in a way that, if you could just make another island, maybe wouldn't be the case. You can go back and forth. The stuff that I could deal with, which is I'll put this in medium frustration bracket, is like, all the resources that get shared. That's fine. You hit the rocks. If he hits the rocks in the morning and I try to hit the rocks in the afternoon, I won't get stuff. But that's fine. It does seem like they will do a money rock per resident though. That seems nice. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I can go do a money rock, and get my rock on once in a while. And I taught him the little trick of dig the holes behind the rock so you don't bounce backwards. He showed me actually, which was great. He is enjoying it. He showed me the like, hey, did you know you can push Y to just cover up the holes with your foot? Like,
that's the way to do it.
That's good stuff. So that stuff is frustrating. The pace on the description of hold everything up, just slow. It's mostly for the cherry blossoms. I find it because I just want to grab those, put them in my pocket, and run around. But it takes like whatever it is, a half a second longer. It's just frustrating. I got the Starbit wand that does the transformation for the clothing, and that was cool. But there's some stuff with that's wonky where you can't change clothes if you're transformed, and that's just weird.
Well, it's a thing that I realized, like, okay, the wand is basically storing like costumes, because I first did it being like, oh cool, I'll put like a few outfits on here and then I'll still be able to go in and like pick items that I put in my wand to wear for a different thing. But it's like, no, those items are stored on the wand forever. So, which is like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just buy duplicates if I want to use it elsewhere. But I've just been using it for like costume pieces versus like everyday outfits.
Oh, you know so what I mean? Can't edit the thing that's on the wand?
you can edit the thing that's on the wand. But let's say like, oh, I have a pair of loafers on this wand outfit I have, and like it's on the wand outfit. I'm not even wearing it. I'm gonna make another outfit and I want to use those loafers again. I would have to get rid of that wand outfit to then take it from that, which I think is weird and annoying.
It's like a Horcrux for your shoes or something. Like they're the sole of your sneakers are now in this wand. It is a little weird. So I don't know, stuff like that. Also sorting the inventory. I mean, this might be stuff that's been in Animal Crossing for ages. It's just this is the most I've played of one in a long time. I would love to just keep my inventory sorted with all the tools in the upper left and then resources, then other stuff. But every time something breaks, then I got like a giant clam up there, and it's just, I don't know, sorting the inventory would be nice.
I know. I wish, because they have a little pocket for like your clothes. I wish they had a little pocket for like tools and for stuff like the Sahara tickets and like the Nook flight tickets and stuff like that. That is like, this is maybe stuff that I just want to hang on to, but don't want to like, I don't know, have it eat up my valuable pocket space. Like that is annoying.
Yeah, now I have like a bunch of tools and it takes up the whole row. I mean, the inventory space seems ample. It's fine. Except for those freaking eggs. I gotta be done with these eggs.
Oh, I know, the eggs. The eggs also are eating up my inventory. They're eating up my storage in my house. It's driving me nuts.
Sell them.
Well, I'm going to be making some dresses today. We're going to do a good purge.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I definitely hear you on the like dialogue stuff, especially. I don't mind it so much when I like catch a bug and it's like, well, here I'm listening to the same thing again. I more mind it when it's like, oh, okay, I'm about to go fly, or I'm like talking to Timmy and Tommy and I'm like trying to sell something. Then accidentally hit the wrong thing and then I have to like go out and back in and like select 3 more things just to get to where I was. Like that's the shit that drives me nuts.
Is there a place? Do you ever get like outdoor storage, or you like?
No, I do wish there was. I would love like an outdoor chest or something, because especially for like DIY stuff, because I make all my DIY stuff outside. I have like a little like crafting area. I would love just like, give me a chest that has like 10 slots in it. I'll throw my iron in there. I'll throw my wood in there.
Or
and not have to worry about it.
if they just. I know this is probably against the spirit of Animal Crossing, but just give me a thing where the DIY bench is hooked into my house storage. That would be
a dream.
Amazing.
Or like if you put your DIY bench in your house, then you could access the storage through it.
That'd be
I mean, I think there's a lot of issues with the DIY of like, let me batch craft stuff, make this faster. Let me go in and like after I'm done making something, immediately customize it and not have to like go out and go back in. Like there's a lot of stuff with that I'm getting annoyed with, especially as I am like building out my whole town and making it all look beautiful.
Yeah, so those little things, that's like mid-tier for me, and then lower down on that stuff is just I would say the time sinks are just probably the lowest. I mean, that's just Animal Crossing. But the highest one, like that stuff, like, hey, I hate going running back into my house to get the inventories. And like, that stuff's like, that's kind of the game, right? Like that's hard to be mad at.
I don't mind that stuff so much.
Yeah, the highest thing is being the I'm kind of, unless I jump into my son's account to cash stuff in when I'm playing at night, I just want to move the game forward to get residents in, and I can't do that unless I log in as him and just like, here's all the sticks and trees and furniture.
That sucks.
And stuff. Yeah, they should just have.
That definitely sucks.
I should at least be able to see what he needs so I can craft it, to get the DIY recipes. So that stinks.
Do you know if it's a thing? I mean, this is very like not a good solution in any way, shape, or form. But do you know how for like the 3DS, if you had like a cartridge for Animal Crossing and then you gave somebody else your 3DS and they had their own cartridge for Animal Crossing, they could play their town on your 3DS? Is it a thing where like if you get 2 copies of Animal Crossing, you both could have separate towns?
So Alex, do you know about this?
It's system based. So it basically like if you have a separate copy on a separate Switch, yes, I think the account stuff doesn't necessarily interfere with that, but like it is per system, I believe.
What if it's like you both have digital copies? So like when one person signs into it on their account, it's their copy, but like if they sign out, you couldn't get into their copy, you'd have to buy your own. You know what I mean?
Here's what I know.
I don't know how that works. I don't share consoles with anybody, so I don't know.
So yeah, I bought it on my account. Sam is the primary human player on it, and she did not have to do anything other than subscribe to Nintendo Online to get everything going. But she was able to just like sign into the game and play it the way I would, because despite the fact that I purchased it. So
same in our house as well.
Yeah.
So
like I like it. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know if you could put another copy on that Switch. I'm not sure. Maybe you could, but like I don't think they'd let you download it again. You just switch users. You just like push Y and it's like, which user? Here's another minor quibble. Is if I'm playing the game, I think there's 2 ways to do this. If I'm playing the game and I want to switch to Max, I have to like quit the game out and then launch it again as as Max Change user on it, or I think I can call him up, invite him to my town, change who is the number one
Primary
player,
person or
primary
whatever.
player at that point, and then he can go and then say, okay, Vinny's gone, I'm here.
Interesting.
It's just I just
Right.
wish there was a thing from the menu that's like switch player or switch account. Or
So
something like
I have a question. If you could, Vinny, say if it still had some of the like resource management, if it still had maybe issues with like somebody put down a fence, you can also just pick up and move their fence, but you could contribute stuff like to the houses and
Yeah.
you would get those DIY things. Would that negate a lot of these issues for you? Is it really
That-
just like the
that's the
story
big-
moving forward stuff? That's
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. That's my number
Yeah.
one actual grievance against it. The other stuff are kind of pet peeves, but my actual grievance is like, I'm not getting a full experience on this.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm not able to participate. Like, I'm not trying not just be selfish and like I'm not getting the Animal Crossing experience. I want to help him. Like I want
Right.
Yeah.
to get in there and be like, what do I need to build? I've got tons of wood. I've got this, and it has to make me a list and like tell me what
that's
is
so
like.
weird.
Hey, I need 15 clay. If you're gonna play tonight, just drop clay in front of my house and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll try and
Yeah.
leave you the resources because again, I don't have the recipes to even make this stuff. So
Yeah, I think you can buy some recipes from Timmy and Tommy's. I don't know if it's everything that Nook gives or
Yeah,
just the
it's-
tools, but
I didn't see it, but I wouldn't know. Like I don't know because it doesn't even
Yeah.
show you what they want. Okay, all that kind of whining and stuff aside, I am enjoying it. I think I'm in. Well,
We got there.
yeah.
I mean, I think these are fair criticisms. Like, I love
They
the
are.
game, but it's flawed. There's
Like,
issues with it all the time.
Like, I have a minor gripe, but it is also a positive thing that I will just throw out there real quick. So, Steve Kim, friend of the site, made a drum set in his game that had his version of my band's logo on it, the None Above All logo. And he was like, hey, I got some drums for you if you want it. I was like, that's great. That's fucking cool. I would love to get a drum set from you. So I add him to my best friends list because you have to go through that whole rigmarole of, creating a separate list for whatever. And so he came into my town. He couldn't leave the item. So he had to... Also, he brought me oranges, which is the only fruit we didn't have. So thank you for that, Steve.
He should be able to drop the item.
He couldn't do it for whatever reason. Whatever it was, he ended up mailing it to me. But he could not mail it to me with the logo attached to it. He had to then give me the code for the custom
God.
logo. I had to go into the shop,
I see.
download the custom logo, and then use one of the...
I mean, that makes sense to me. That I'm
a
not
safety
surprised
thing.
by that. Like, it's a safety thing. It's also just a thing. Like, I can't imagine the kind of like data you would have to like rig up to have custom things be able to be sent to every person forever. Like, even in your inventory, you have so many custom things you have to put in a slot, and then if you change that, it'll change it on your item, any item that has it.
I'm
Like-
just saying that I think it would be nice if there was a way that it could just, I don't know, think about that for a second and then just decide to add that custom logo to your
Yeah.
custom logos wherever
Sure,
you go.
just like yeah.
I think
It's
I think if you're best friends, you should be able to drop customized items on the island. I think
Totally.
Yeah, I think if you're best friends, you should be able to mail that stuff and drop that stuff. I understand if you're not dropping like garbage that is maybe offensive on other people.
Yeah.
That's custom. But if you're best friends, just like you could dig up and chop down trees, I think you should be able to drop that stuff off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
but I
saying
think
willy-nilly.
I don't know. I guess it seems very different to me to have like I've made a custom piece of art that you can download with the QR code if you want it, but like is not just going to stay sticky to any item it's on in somebody else's town. Like there's so many items, so much data. Like that
Sure.
seems like a big request. And also you could definitely drop items in people's towns. Like
I
I've
don't
done
think
it
I
a
don't
dozen
think
times,
I don't think
but
you can drop custom ones. I think that's the
you
thing.
not with custom stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you had like, oh, here's just a drum set.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you should
wherever
be able
we
to
ended
give
up,
them the item.
he mailed me the drum set and then sent me the QR code for the thing, and I got it. And now I have a big old drum set in the center of my house because I still
Ah.
have not gotten extra room, so that's cool.
The-
I want to know who everyone's favorite villager is that they have,
Oh, that you have or just in general?
that you have in your town.
Oh, interesting. I love Al. He's a big monkey and I guess he's a big like gorilla, and all he does is he talks about snacks and his full ass is out. And I love him
Nice.
so much. And every time he gives me a DIY recipe, he's like, the bugs whispered it to me at night. And I just really
Oh.
love it.
That guy sounds
Great.
cool. I like that. I don't have a favorite. I only have Cherry, Flick, and the names are all the same, right?
Wait,
Yes.
Flick?
Flick.
Yes, the name, your cherry or Flick will be everyone else's
Okay.
cherry or
But I
Uh,
think Flick is that's that lizard that likes bugs, right?
our Flick, I think, or Flip or Flick likes working out, and it's a monkey.
Flick? Is it
Flip?
Yeah, I think Flick is a lizard that likes bugs.
Maybe
I
it's
think
Flip?
that must be a different name.
Maybe it's
Okay,
Flip.
it might be Flip.
And then we just got Bianca. She's just cleaning out her house and moving in. And
What kind of animal is Bianca?
She's a tiger, right?
Tiger, yeah, like a white
White
tiger.
tiger.
With black
I have
stripes.
Bengal.
We
She's my
have her.
tiger.
And then I met Blather's sister, and I really like her.
Oh,
She
yeah,
seems
Celeste.
Cool. Yeah,
She gives you cool stuff too. I like what she gives you.
yeah, she seems rad. So
Yeah.
kick out Blathers, put the sister in the museum. Blathers just I don't know. I'm done.
I
with
love
Blathers.
Blathers. Blathers is my favorite. Oh my god. I love giving Blathers a bug and having him go like eek. Yeah. I mean, ew.
Not
Ew.
stressing him out.
Dare I say ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Do you want me to tell you about this? Ew.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, your favorite.
My favorite is this little sheep dude named Kurlos that we have. Wears a Rastafarian shirt and is just the most adorable fucking thing I have ever seen in one of these games. Like, he's the first villager I've ever met that I just want to hug every time I see him.
I love that. I think they made, I think just being part of being an HD game, but like the villagers look so cute and they really like flesh out the world in a way I really like. Like seeing my villager like do yoga in front of her house is like wild, and seeing them like, oh my gosh, sometimes I'll be playing and I'll just see one like plop down under a tree and start eating a sandwich. And I think it's amazing. I like love that shit. I can't get over it.
I like when I go up to Cherry because I just trying to get all the items I can from everybody, and she goes, "Well, you again? I guess this island just isn't big enough for both of us, huh?"
Wow.
Just be like, oh man, I'm gonna be like, okay, I have to move now.
Fucking body.
So yeah, that's a little obnoxious. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I got a ladder from my brother and his wife. They gave me a ladder, which was great. I also got I don't know if you guys have the recipe for a giant robot that the ingredients
yes, I do.
are
They're
wild. They want so much stuff. I don't know if it is a giant robot. It's like a mech or something.
It's giant.
Okay,
it's
I
huge.
really want to build it, but
I bought, because they have like a giant like Godzilla you can buy. So I bought that and I was like, oh, I want the robot right next to it. I want to build like an outdoor movie theater. And then I got the recipe for the robot and I was like, oh my god, I don't have a gold suit. Like what?
Yeah.
I
have one gold piece, and Max has like 5. I'm gonna have to rob him. So the other thing that I am enjoying, and hopefully I will enjoy, is the turnip stuff. Now that I am using the turnip predictor, whatever exchange website I went to, where you can type in the prices you've had for up to that week. It asks you what was your pattern last week? Was it fluctuating, decreasing, small spike, large spike? And then it'll kind of try and predict what your prices are going to be for the rest of the week with a percentage of it. And it was spot on for me this morning.
Oh, really?
I had put in the prices for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. I have my post-it here with where I keep track of my of my stuff, and it was spot on. I think it predicted it would be 183 to 84, and it was 183. And I bought at 97, so I sold my turnips, and now I'm gonna put a little on the side to buy next Sunday. Or actually, I might skip a Sunday and then buy the Sunday.
Oh, really?
There was a thing like that in I feel like in GTA 5 where like that game's sort of micro economy was like predictable in a way that somebody made. Not the online version, the offline version.
Right.
Somebody made like some sort of app to that knew and sort of figured out how the algorithm inside the game works. But great job with your fucking terms, buddy.
Thanks.
Wait, what was the online currency thing in GTA 5?
There's like there's a stock market in GTA.
Don't really
5.
remember. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you could like. I don't remember. I mean, this is going back maybe 5-6 years. Whenever that game originally came out, there were you could make a lot of money in like fake investing in that game and be able to do stuff.
Cool.
Jeff, are you done with Animal Crossing?
I feel like we're kind of bounced off it.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough for me personally. I've had difficulty maintaining interest in it. my kid, who is the primary, driver of wanting to do that, after, you catch every fish, it's like, all
Caught
right,
every fish.
well, you know what I mean?
Every
Like,
single one.
do you know what I look? It's
I know
me
exactly what you
personally.
mean,
I
yeah.
would not be playing this game if it weren't for him,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and he doesn't seem terribly interested in it.
Okay.
But we bounced off like Luigi's Mansion for a month, and then we played
Right.
it 7 weeks straight till completion. So
My kids are doing another Luigi's Mansion run.
See, that's crazy to me. If they're, as long as you're not involved, if they're just involved, that's fine. Knock yourself out. Oh wow, it's hailing again, real crazy.
I had thunder earlier. Now it's kind of like sunny, but in like a weird green way.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just not. It's not tickling.
I get
It's
it.
not scratching that itch.
I get it. It's I find it just very relaxing at this point. Like it's just one of those things where like instead of sitting down and watching some passive TV or something, like
right.
I went through all my episodes of the Repair Shop. So there's my other thing. I just kind of like zone out. I had oh my gosh, I put a palm tree, a beach towel, a picnic set on the beach. And then last night I literally was just laying in the game on the towel while it was nighttime with the night sky and the waves going, and then put the controller down and laid down on the couch and fell asleep to that to the noise of that.
I love that.
I get what you get out of that. I get out of what the hell's that show on Netflix I watch? The Grand Designs. You ever see Grand Designs?
No.
Oh yes, my dad loves that show. I saw one. Oh, I've seen a few of that. Yes, I've seen it.
It's the same thing that people get out of Animal Crossing, where it's just like, low interactivity and just like, hey, it's like better than watching a lava lamp, but like, and what's funny is I put Grand Designs on to go to bed too.
Yeah.
Like that's like when it's time to go to bed, we go, okay, let's put on the British guy in Grand Designs, and 7 minutes go by and I'm sleeping.
Yeah, the one where they made a house out of that castle.
Yes.
Yeah,
there's only a couple seasons on Netflix. I'm super pissed because apparently there's like 12 seasons.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this guy, whatever his name is, he follows these projects for like 4 years sometimes.
Oh wow.
I know, that's what I really like about that show is like sometimes you'll see like home makeover type shows. So the whole thing with Grand Design is like, whoa, this person's trying to make like a water tower into a home.
Yeah.
And it's just like these wild, like, look at them make it. But it's like not like an American show where it's like, move that bus. We built the house in 3 weeks. It's like, oh, here are real people just like building their shit. And like sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes it takes 4 years.
There's no race, there's no clock, there's no pressure, there's no game. But the reoccurring theme here though is that the host is a little snarky because like I guess he's some sort of architect himself, and he'll sort of just be like, oh right, well you're probably not gonna be able to do that, you know that, right? Like he just tries to tell people that like their dreams are shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do watch all of these poor people who like dump their entire life savings into building a fucking house inside of a hill or whatever it is. And they're just like, why are you doing this? And they're like, well, we didn't think it would be this much money. He's like, of course it's going to be this much money. What are you trying to do here?
Literally nothing about that sounds relaxing to me at all. As a matter of fact, that just stresses me the fuck out.
No, it's good.
Stressful, but it is but everyone's like super polite and British about it. So like nobody is confrontational. They're all just like, oh, well, we're going to make the best of it, aren't we? Like, it's just like,
what you're describing is literally Animal Crossing. Just like everybody's super polite and people dumping money into these dumb houses that they will never be able to.
Why is this so expensive for just one more room?
Why? I just want a T-Rex fossil in my house. I just want to put this $190,000 extension on my house so I get a T-Rex fossil in it. I didn't realize it could be this many bells. But very polite.
I've started finding periodically checking on this random YouTube channel that and the name of it is escaping me at the moment, but basically the premise is it is this woman who lives in the Chinese countryside and she just goes around gathering ingredients from this giant garden and then cooking stuff, like traditional Chinese dishes, and there's no dialogue. No like
an ASMR thing?
No, it's not even that. It's just her going through, walking around these very lovely country, landscapes, picking vegetables and ingredients, and then cooking, in like giant woks, giant pots, that kind of stuff. And it's like she's not doing instruction. She's not talking over it. It's just very much like HD camera, peaceful setting, doing some cooking. It's very cool. Like I think if you just do a search for
Nice.
for Chinese woman cooking, Zen or whatever. I think you will find it on YouTube. She has a ton of videos, and
That
it is
sounds like
very
that
relaxing.
guy. Have y'all seen that guy? I think it's called like Primitive Designs or something. He just like goes into the woods and like I don't know, Philadelphia or like Connecticut or somewhere. I don't know. And he like, well, you know what I mean, Pittsburgh. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's like around Philly or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he like goes into the woods and he like builds like full houses out of clay. He just
Totally.
is like, oh, I'm gonna like dig up a bunch of shit. And like he doesn't talk in any of them. It's just like this shirtless guy in gym shorts, like banging rocks on stuff and like building fires. They're wild. It's funny because the original ones, they're so good. The original ones, like him building like a small fire, like him making a little clay pot. Then the later ones are like, here's my like wood oven and like house with the roof with shingles and like glass blowing and all this crazy shit.
I saw him make the shingles and his little like heated
Primitive
bed and all that one. Yeah.
So yeah, I bounced off Animal Crossing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait, I want to talk about the show I watched.
So
I watched a show that I got really mad at, and I was really excited for my wife and I. Like my wife really liked glass blowing, or just like watching people do glass blowing. One, yeah. And there was a Netflix one called Blown Away, and it just got so obnoxious because the fucking host just kept saying like, this design did not blow us away.
God damn it.
And just was like, we watched the whole thing. We were just angry by the end of it because he just would not stop saying the name of the show.
I'm angry that you said it.
Yeah.
Not enough people realize they should watch shows muted. I'm serious.
Well, that's why this channel I'm watching is great, because it practically is. It's just the sound of running water and cooking.
That which sounds delightful, but some of these hosts, they're just the most terrible, obnoxious people on earth. So just mute them.
Yeah.
And just watch the cinematography is probably always going to be better than their stupid face. So.
Well, I feel like my issue with a lot of these like reality game shows is less like the cheesy dialogue and more like, oh my God, you guys are like stretching this out for like 15 minutes, but like we know what's gonna happen. Like this glass is gonna break. Like just show them break their stupid little like whale art and then like slap it together before they have to go up there. Like, that's
your whale
art.
That was also kind of a fundamental problem of the whole show, which I get on paper sounds amazing, like something could break at any time. But then you have like somebody who's been killing it the entire season, and then like some accident happens like 3/4 of the way through, and their thing breaks, and then you're like, Are you just going to eliminate the best candidate because his thing just broke? Like that kind of okay. It did not blow me away.
What I did like about that show, good one, Vinny, was that everyone, it's like, 8 people in a room with these hot kilns. So everyone is like covered in sweat the entire time.
They fixed that by like the second, they must have done something where they didn't account for how hot it was going to be. Because that first episode, they are drenched.
I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, but it's really like everyone looks like they like ran through a shower.
I mean, it might just be there are fewer people running the ovens as time goes by, but something was wrong in those first 2 episodes where it's like, somebody was going to come in and shut that show down and be like, this is not good. The other game.
Games, right.
A little bit, just a very slight touch of Doom. I don't know if I've mentioned it here because we've been streaming on a bunch of other stuff, but I'm definitely.
Just a touch of Doom.
Just a touch of Doom.
A dollop of Doom.
I touched the Doom. It is definitely growing on me as I get more upgrades and I kind of progress more and the systems make more sense. The flow is coming. I still think that game's curve is way too steep at the beginning, but it is growing on me. I'm enjoying it more. My survivability is going up. I think I just know how to deal with things a little bit better. The story's still just not putting hooks into me. And what else? What the heck else did we do? We jumped back into Sea of Thieves. Alex and Abby
that was fun.
with Brad. We were just testing it out, just testing the water. Testing the waters might have been.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Vinny, that did not blow me away.
Oh, okay. Oh, crash.
Sea Thieves or the name?
Yes.
I enjoy it. I have always enjoyed it. And I feel like we hit like it was like somebody was force feeding us the major events in that game. We got a ghost ship. We got a Kraken. We got the Reaper
the
chest.
Kraken.
We got a giant sea monster. We got it. We were hitting all the big notes. and
We pillaged someone else's ship.
we won a sea battle. We lost the sea battle. We had to get a ship. We had to get Brad in a rowboat who couldn't dock it to the back of our boat.
Oh, that rowboat.
So I think we'll try some more of that. We were kind of jumping in to see if it's fun. Still,
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I said I wanted to be invited to that, and like I wasn't.
so it's great. It's super fun.
You wanna take
I
my
had
spot?
such a good time. It's so
such
fun.
a good time.
Like, it
just
was
remember-
so fun, even though we were short a person the
Yeah.
entire time.
I
It
know.
I also
probably could
remember
have
like when you
used
guys
someone.
used to do it, you'd be like, "Hey, you want to come?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, that seems like fun." And I think I did it once, and then I want to say as early as recent as last week, you were like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I feel like the word that came out of my mouth was just simply yes.
And the other thing that's
And-
more fun was doing the heist, but again, being down a person, just not having
I
a
know.
power,
Yeah.
was
But
fun.
it was still
This
a
is
great
this
time.
one's real.
And
This
then,
beef's real.
the sea beast.
Jeff, we would love to have you.
The sea beef is
The
real.
sea beast is real.
I mean, I gotta
Jeff,
tell you, for my part, I'm getting a little frustrated with that. I think it's maybe because my shipmates are not respecting the authority of the boat driver to the degree that I would like. So maybe Jeff, if you wanna take my spot for a little bit, I would be more than okay with that because these people are nightmares.
That seems like I'd be taking some sort of like bullet for the team. I don't know if I want to do that.
Jeff, we would love to have you. Also, I think the real honest answer is you're not in our production meetings when we choose, like, hey, who wants to be on the screen?
yeah.
Maybe
could
that's
join
for the
them.
best. I mean, look, as long as there's a new PlayStation controller every week for the rest of the quarantine, I'm gonna be just fine.
You'll be something
Okay.
to talk about.
I'm gonna be just fine.
Which there might be. That's it for me for the games. Red Dead Online. What's going on, Red Dead Online? Why are you so broken? We tried to play on Tuesday. Me and my family couldn't do it. All the bounty boards were broken. We wound up having to go in, play something else. That was a real bummer. But we did play Warzone, so I finally played Warzone, which we got second place on our first try. Who knew?
Nice.
Who knew? Just being in the helicopter the entire time, flying above everything while everybody else kills each other, would get you second place until the people that got first place realized we would die first when the fog came in. So that was fun. I don't know if I will
Wait,
play
which game was
Warzone.
that?
Warzone.
Oh, Warzone.
Call of Duty Warzone.
Did the quads?
We had the quads, we had the trucks, but the helicopter was how we survived. Nobody shot us down. We shot other people down.
It's usually I feel like a shitty strategy. It's usually
Oh,
like
yeah.
hey, look at me.
I'm a
You know?
target sitting right up here, and there are rocket launchers.
Yeah, and it's easy to make this chopper disabled.
Yeah, very much. I don't know why nobody. I mean, maybe it was the fact we had three of them. We had three helicopters, and then we would jump. We'd tell because we were bored at that point because nobody was getting us. So we just fly above and then drop into the helicopter below us, and then enter that helicopter. And then as the other helicopter started falling, try to drop into it, which worked a couple of times until it didn't.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that was fun. And that's it for me. Abby, what you been up to?
I have mostly been playing Animal Crossing because who needs anything else when you have Animal Crossing? I'm making my town very beautiful. Perhaps one of these days I'll shoot a short video just showing off my town once
Nice.
it's beautified. I'm at 4 stars. I think I'm pretty
Wow.
close to 5.
Wow.
Ooh.
Anyway, I would love to have you guys come and see my beautiful town. Also,
Love
if you have
to.
any arcade machines, please send them to me.
Oh.
I'm building a boardwalk.
Oh, they have
in the
arcade
meantime-
machines? Oh, wow.
They
Yes,
do.
I have a pinball machine currently and like a casino slot machine,
Oh,
but
I
I
have-
want like arcade machines.
I have a
What?
question.
Okay. Yes,
An Animal
Vinny.
Crossing question for an Animal Crossing expert. Should I be buying everything in that Nook's Cranny shop, or will it come back around?
I like having a full catalog, and there are times when it's like I don't know what I'm necessarily going to do, so I like building them, or I like buying them for a number of reasons. One, I like having a full catalog. Two, you never know when you might need something.
Yeah.
3, and I think this is the main one for me right now, people are not entirely sure what gets the shop to upgrade. People think that one of the things that might get it to upgrade is spending a certain amount of bells in the shop. So I also purchase items in the hopes that, like, well, if they do need like the 70,000 bells or whatever, I would like to get there as soon as possible.
So you buy all the special single buy items as well?
If I already have purchased it, I usually don't buy it.
So
But
you've
if I
seen
have not bought it
repeats?
before, I have seen repeats
Okay.
in Nook's Cranny.
Okay.
But it's not that common. And usually, or sometimes I'll see like a repeated color and I'll usually, or like a different color and I'll be like, oh, I do want it in this color. I wanted to see what this color's like. Just because I like having variety. And there have been lots of times when I've bought something and be like, I don't fucking want that. And then like 2 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I'm building this thing. I need that thing. And
I need
I'll
that
order it.
squatting toilet.
Exactly.
Which I bought.
It's also like sometimes my friends, like one of my favorite things is sending mail in the game. And like there are a lot of times when my friends will send me something that I really need. And I like sending them something back that's like, oh, this is the thing that I bought a while ago. I never wanted it, but you can have it. And then I just, usually buy it and then just sell it at a loss.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but it just occurred to me
No,
that
that's fine.
I didn't know how much that stuff cycles through the shop if it comes back.
That is how I like to play because I feel like there's also some furniture that it takes fucking forever to get. But anyway, that's how I like to play for 2 reasons. One, because I like having a full catalog because you never know.
Yes.
And like bells, you get them quick enough that it's not a huge deal. And then also because I would like to upgrade my store and I'm not exactly sure what triggers it. In the last games, it was spending a certain amount of bells in the stores. So I assume it's probably has something to do with that, maybe in addition to like some museum stuff or something. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, really enjoying it still. It's really, I think the terraforming is something else. It's really exciting how much control I have over the game. And I am having a lot of fun making my town look exactly the way I want it to, which I think is pretty cool. It's also fun looking up people's towns online. People are going wild with the terraforming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in like truly bananas ways. But also I have been playing Fortnite here and there. I got my first victory royale.
Nice.
Which is very exciting. Thank you so much. I killed multiple people during it. I felt like I earned it.
Nice.
Anyway, that was fun. I still have a hot dog costume. Tempted to spend money on a woodland creature, but I won't. Also, last thing, I ordered Cooking Mama, the famed cursed Cooking Mama game that came out for the Switch. I ordered it. It should be coming in today. I don't think it's a cryptocurrency miner, but I do worry that it'll brick my Switch. That is my concern.
So
it's fine. But
for folks that don't know, what is the Cooking Mama? I know that it was available, not available.
So there was like a Cooking Mama game that came out for the Switch, I think on like the end of the month, end of March, I think it was. I don't remember the exact date. And then it was up for like a couple of hours and then immediately pulled. And there wasn't a lot of fanfare of like, this game came out. It was just like, it was up and then it was down. And a couple people downloaded it and it seemed like maybe it bricked up their systems a little bit or it like slowed things down and people weren't sure why it was pulled. And you can still find it in some like brick and mortar stores. I ordered it from one. But it's not online anywhere, and they didn't say why they pulled it down. They just took it down.
Did I see that the company that put that out is like some shell company owned by one of the Koch brothers?
What? I have not heard about this.
Okay, I can't confirm the veracity of that. I just saw that flying around amid everything else.
I don't know. I honestly think it's going to be like a perfectly mediocre Cooking Mama game, which is what I enjoy about my Cooking Mama games.
Yeah, you don't get them for good gameplay, that's for sure.
No, I think I'm more worried that like I don't want it to fuck up my system at all.
Right.
You know, especially considering if I lose my Animal Crossing town, I will find the Cooking Mama devs and I will make them pay.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think that's only fair.
No.
That is a swearing of vengeance.
I hope she comes into your town. I hope she lives in your town and starts like ruining the island.
She becomes the new human representative. It's like me v Cooking Mama.
She's the bank representative to let you know how you can use Animal Crossing to mine for Bitcoin.
Suddenly you're going to go in there and like Tom Nook's going to be like, I have to leave. Why, Tom? I can't talk about it, but I have to go. I have to bring my family out of here. I'm sorry. And then like the Cooking Mama shows up. They make side eye comments. I'm leaving. I'm gone. Well, Tom is gone now. You owe me 300,000 bells. And I do charge interest just a wee bit though. I do. It's just a little bit of interest.
Yeah. So anyway, should get here today. We'll see. Maybe a quick look to come.
Yeah.
Unsure. Wow. I'm going to do a little more research to make sure it doesn't ruin everything. But I love Cooking Mama games. I'm excited for it. I think they're like fun, relaxing games. I haven't played one in a long time. I think that the Switch is a good medium for it because you do have some motion, but also, a good console. Anyway, very curious about it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this Cooking Mama game. Yeah. According to my tracking numbers, it's in Long Island. So.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Alex Navarro.
Hi.
Anything else?
You wondering what I've been playing?
I know you've been trucking.
Yes, I mean, other than the stuff I've been playing for the
Uh-huh.
website, which includes the Euro Truck multiplayer, which I tried for the first time this
Nice.
week. That is a neat thing. It's weird in the sense that it removes all the other in-game traffic when you are trucking. So the only people on the road are other truckers.
And it's an
Now,
official Euro
No.
Truck? Okay, unofficial.
no, it is a mod made by very enthusiastic truckers the world over. It
Uh-huh.
works for both Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator. My experience was there are way more people using that mod on Euro Truck.
Okay.
Europe is very big, and I will say that once I got in there and I actually found some other trucks, there are a lot of people trucking in there, especially like during the day. There were trucks everywhere. There were convoys. It was beautiful.
And are they mostly like following road rules, or do they look like human players?
The majority of the people I ran into, other than the occasional honk, occasional honk as you go by, were mostly just abiding by the rules, doing their thing,
Okay.
following
I
traffic
love
laws.
that.
There were some people who shall remain nameless because I can't remember their names, who definitely were not. I got into one head-on collision because some guy was just being fucking buck wild out there. But yeah, it's for the most part, they seem respectful. Like whenever they come over the audio in the multiplayer map, it has a little CB radio noise attached to it.
That's
So it's
cool.
like there's a little sound effect that plays. I didn't hear anything super offensive, though, to be
Okay.
fair, a lot of it was in Russian, so I could
Okay.
not tell you if it was or not. But that is a neat thing, and I think I'm going to play some more of that for my trucking streams.
Cool.
You
Beyond
should
that, the usual.
invite Jeff Backlar. He gets like really upset.
Actually, that one I'm good at.
Road trip.
Oh, come on, man. It's fun. You should try it. Trucking's cool.
No, it's look. I want
Jeff's
to
a
be
boat man.
included, but that one you just
Maybe
Yeah.
you know what I'll do?
Yes.
I'll have you just dial in for my stream next time. You can
Uh.
ride in the passenger seat with me. You can hang out while I truck.
I'll
You can,
truck right next to you. We'll go
Yeah.
side by side
Can you
trucking.
really sit shotgun?
No, you can't literally sit shotgun, but you can come on the Discord channel and watch me truck like you're in the truck with me.
I'll be
You're
the
my
truck dog.
companion.
I'll be a dog
Yeah.
just next to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be the
Yeah.
person you're delivering the goods and services to.
All right, I hope you like getting pet food and empty pallets because that's mostly what I've been delivering so far.
Both
That's
important
not a
things
waste
for
of
me.
gas.
Yeah.
How
So
many people can be on a server?
it looked like the maximum was 4,000.
Is there a world
For
record
what?
for how many, like one long convoy, just one long string of trucks that go from one origin to one destination? I want a 4,000 long chain of trucks.
So you want the human truckapede?
Yes, I want the human truckapede. I want traffic that takes days to just inch its way across Europe.
Yeah. As far as I know, I have no idea. I will say there were two main active servers when I was playing. The first one was full up and had a 110 person queue, and that one had like 4,000 people in it. The one I was in had like 2,200 people in it,
Oh my
and I was still
gosh.
seeing a lot of trucks around, especially anytime I went by a major city. There were a bunch of people around.
I want to. Okay, so I'll definitely jump in this with you. But
Okay.
what I want to do is I want to make sure we get the same destination from the same source, and I want to race.
Okay, I think the jobs, like anyone can take the same jobs
Great.
if they want to. Like they don't
Fantastic.
disappear if one person takes it. So I
Perfect.
think you should be able to do that.
Let's do it. All right. What else,
I'm into
Alex?
I've been playing a little more Treachery and Beatdown City. That game is still very fun. I'm enjoying it. You should check it out if you like brawlers. It is a very novel spin on that genre. I think I might be able to finish that soon. I would like to record something for that soon as well. So keep an eye out for that. Today, I unexpectedly got a code from one Alexander Slawinski for a new game. Vinny, do you remember Regency Solitaire?
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember the game after that, Shadow Hand, the one they made? It was very similar. So they made another one of those.
What is this
They
one
made
called?
they made a full-on solitaire RPG called Ancient Enemy.
Okay.
It is a game where you are, I think, a soldier in some kind of fantasy war who wakes up and the world has been ruined, and so you are on a journey to find out like where the people are, and you're up against like monsters and corrupted people and whatnot. So it's the same basic idea as those other games. You're playing a version of Solitaire, where there's a board, there are a bunch of cards. And the only way you can get those cards off the board is there's a little deck at the bottom that it's solitaire rules, a higher or lower number attaches to them. But the way they've changed it up here is that the suits pertain to specific powers that you have when you are combating against other enemies.
Okay.
So like there's an attack suit, there's like a magic power suit, there's like a defense suit, and as you pull down cards from those suits, they charge up your abilities, which you can then use to attack or defend or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I get it. I think that sounds a little Puzzle Quest-ish. That
a little bit.
Particular thing with the gem colors and stuff. That sounds neat.
So I played about an hour.
Cool.
Yeah, I played about an hour of that this morning, and it is definitely scratching that same itch that I got from playing a lot of Regency Solitaire and Shadowhand. If you liked either of those games or both of them, this seems like it would be very much up your alley. They've definitely built it out a little more. It is not just playing the basic Solitaire puzzles. Like the combat aspect of it is a little more challenging, but not in a way that felt like overly complicated or, like disruptive if you just like making the cards go off the board, which I very much do. I did
enjoy the Victorian drama of the Regency, but I'm up for more sci-fi.
I would. Well, it's more fantasy. Like I would say, like I like high fantasy type stuff. I would definitely love to see them go back to the Regency universe. I would love some more parlor games and gossiping and all sorts of drama surrounding the kind of regal environment of those games, but they seem to be going in a different direction now. With more
Solitaire looks cool. This is the first I've heard of it, but I fucking love Solitaire, and having like a high class spin story on it is very funny to me.
The story part is the story part is surprisingly good. It's pretty well done. I think that I like that the studio has found their niche and they're continuing to put stuff out. So check that out if you like either of those games.
Abby, have you ever played Solitairica on a mobile device? A lot of people really love it. Rich Gallup clued me into it. I think Drew played a bunch of it as well. I never got that into it, but people adore that for Solitaire-esque business.
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
I should check it out. I love Solitaire.
Yeah,
I'm a big Solitaire head. I
love Solitaire too, and I always feel I don't know, is there shame? I'm not sure what it is when like if like it's nighttime and like my wife is doing something with the kids and I'm sitting on a table playing Solitaire, it always feels it's like a little weird.
Like real Solitaire with like cards?
Yeah, like real Solitaire with
I
cards.
haven't done that since I was like a kid.
Strange picture you just
Is
painted,
that strange?
yeah,
I don't know. I just find Solitaire very
There's
relaxing.
so many like digital versions. No, I love Solitaire. I really like Solitaire. I just I don't know. The work of like setting it up is very funny to me. I haven't done it since I was like really little.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've played an actual physical game of Solitaire since I used to play double Solitaire with my grandmother.
You want to know why? Because it was like the first game on everyone's computer ever. No one's had to do that shit in 25 years.
Solitaire's basically always been a computer game. I feel like.
What, you weren't a free cell guy?
So
sweeper?
I always forget when I'm playing Solitaire. There's two things I forget. One is, do you do 7 or 9 cards? And I always have to look that up. Across, and then I always forget. I think there might be actually different ways to do this. I'm not sure what the Windows Solitaire does.
Cheating.
Do you go 1, 2, and then the third card is the card you play? So like the third.
I do it with 3 because 1 is too easy.
So do you go? And the third card is the card you play, or do you go 1, 2, 3, and then the card is the
no?
Card
it's the third card. The third card is the one you play.
Yeah, the third card. Yeah.
And you never shuffle, right?
Does it at least.
And you don't.
What's that?
You never shuffle, right? You just flip the cards back over and go.
No.
Okay.
That's why you got to kind of plan it out. When you see like the 3, you're like, I got to make sure I get this out.
Yeah,
can't do that because that one's locked up.
So yeah, 3, and then don't shuffle, just flip them over. Solitaire's fun. There's a game called a card game called Onirim, which scratches that same itch. It's not the deck of cards. It's like art on cards and stuff like that, but it is kind of similar.
If you guys are looking for card games, let me tell you about this game called Poker that I've been playing that is very enjoyable, especially played with other people. You can win money. Sometimes you lose, but you can win. That's pretty neat.
Virtual poker?
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Doesn't have the same atmosphere of being in a room and trying to manage a bunch of guys having takeout food on the table and also,
cards,
having beers, in the space. But at the same time, it's at least something. It's nice to be able to do something.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been finding fun ways. Yeah, I like virtually social is nice in ways.
Jeff Bacalar, anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about? I adored your poker stream, your pinball stream. It was very good.
My poker face?
Your poker face.
You adored it?
Poker face.
Pinball stream.
Yeah, I liked your pinball stream.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone listening that joined us. That was a lot of fun. We'll do it again on Sunday night. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 3. I'm just kind of like slogging through it. It is
Do you
not
hate
as
it? I just got through the sewers.
I don't hate it. I just think, again, like this is maybe a testament to the original. That's what I'm sort of extracting out of the whole thing, is that perhaps RE3 was not the strongest Resident Evil game. I just don't remember playing it that much. It came out over, what is it, 20 years ago, more than that?
It was 98.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think the boss battles for me are the worst parts of the game. Anytime you get in touch with Mr. Nemesis,
Mr.
I think that
Nemesis.
sucks. I think the game looks great. I'm having fun with all that. I'm starting to feel like I got all of the inventory upgrades with Carlos, but none of them with Jill. And the fact there's a whole hospital scene in this game where you go back and forth. And the fact that like I can't just take shit from Jill out of her pocket while she's laying on the hospital bed.
You don't like it.
Well, spoilers.
That's not how video games work.
But it's how it should work. Like, look, I understand you're preserving the integrity of the game, but at the same time, you are modernizing it in every other way. So why not just do that? And look, I guess that would change a lot of things too, because the loop in which you play, you make your way through it once with Carlos, and then again with Jill, and then she does stuff he can't do. It's just stuff like that. I just kind of like slap my forehead at and move on. But the boss battles are not great. There's one I'm in right now that is long and doesn't seem to give you that generous sort of midway checkpoint that perhaps some of the other ones did. And yeah, I'm just gonna make my way through it and suck it up, I guess. But
Jeff, have you looked up how far into it you are? Because I've heard this varying things, but most of them seem to say it's fairly short.
Yeah, I think I'm close to the end.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I'm like right there.
I stopped playing because Abby, I want to kind of be going along with the ride with you as you play Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the move. I should have done that. I should have just not played it and like gone.
You're welcome to join us on our streams, Jeff.
Oh,
we would love to have you.
But am I?
Always, Jeff. I will Slack you directly for every stream I do now, letting you know you're welcome.
I just need like the DM in Slack.
I'm gonna do it. I will.
Unless you're
slide into Jeff's DMs.
I am going to DM you for a lot of our streams.
Okay, unless you're mentioning me. It's same thing with like all my other chats. Like people are like, you didn't see what I said 14 hours ago.
They're like,
no, dude, I'm doing other things, man. Yeah. You know, like mention me and I'll see it.
Apparently, I'm not allowed to slide into Jeff's DMs for Trucking Simulator. He doesn't seem to want any part of that.
Well, I think we made that clear. I think that was clear.
Yes, we did.
And then I'm loving Call of Duty still. Loving the HQ stuff. Season 3 just came out. I've only done one quad. I'm not a big, like I said, I'm getting a little lukewarm on Warzone, even though my idiot friends still want to play it. But we'll see what quads does to the dynamic. But I don't know. Didn't we like just get finished talking about like 4Zs and like, man, if they do 5Zs, now everyone's like, well, they're doing 4Zs. We're going to do 5Zs now.
I really thought you meant
if they do 5Zs,
four-wheelers when you said quads before.
Oh, no. Four-player group.
I want a 5-wheeled vehicle, please.
And now you're saying quads and you said 4 people. I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I switched to 4Zs.
4Zs, yep. And now 5Zs and Quincy's.
Well, but if 4Z, to me, 5Zs doesn't make sense. Like 5Zs, then you're like a TD. This is a TDM match. It's just like a big ground war, kind of thing. So, yeah, that game's fun. They increased the price of everything. Everything's super expensive now to get loadouts and stuff. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm still into that game, battle pass or not. Let's do it.
They didn't. I'm not I'm not super keen on the battle. Not keen. I don't know a lot about Battle Pass stuff. I get them once in a while, like Apex Legends. I got the Call of Duty one the first time, and I got the Red Dead one. How long does it usually take between seasons of a Battle Pass for the next one to come up?
55 days is what they're doing. I think that's like right on the money.
Wait,
there.
is that for real? They do like almost 2 months between Battle Passes?
Yeah, I want to say like I just looked at it last night and
okay.
it said time till next Battle Pass.
Oh, that's
55D, and then a smaller number M.
So
and then
by the time one closes and you can't get any more rewards for it, to the next time one opens up is almost, that seems normal, like 2 months.
I think it just rolls over. Like one, like it ends and then the next one's available.
Oh, okay, that's what I mean. Not how long will you have the Battle Pass? Because like the Red Dead one, they shut down the Red Dead Battle Pass, and now you can't get the next season.
I don't claim to be any kind of Battle Pass expert, but
okay, I'm just curious. I have no idea.
What I'm curious now about is if let's say you bought Battle Pass Season 2, but you don't buy 3, will you? And then you buy 4. Like, what happens to the Battle Pass 3 stuff?
I don't think you get it. I think you don't get it.
Yeah, maybe you just like, but there's tiers. There's tiers. You know what the answer is? Yeah. It's right here. It doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
None of that matters because it's all fucking bullshit.
Okay.
So. Well, speaking of not mattering, do you have anything else to say?
Wow! Oh, wow. That was the kidney shot.
Bye, Jeff.
I'm not leaving. It's just like, it seems like this is it's like the hallmark of the episode.
No,
it's
why?
It's like everyone listening's like, oh, when are they really gonna give it to him? When are they licking their lips, rubbing their head?
No, Jeff, that's not the hallmark of this episode. That's the hallmark of every episode.
You hear that? They're eating it up. Give them what they want, Carvel.
I'm not eating.
Give them what they want.
I don't want to. I can't give them what they want. This is a PG thing. Do you want to take a?
What?
Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break? Do you want to take a break? Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
You want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
Okay.
I need to cool off, so let's take a fucking break.
Oh, jeez.
Jeff's got to take a walk.
Oh no! All right, hold on. Let me get this whole break.
Open a window up in here.
Don't do that. It's hailing. The weather outside is frightful. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back in just a second. We're going to let Bacala cool off a bit. But he's in some kind of... He's riled up.
He's a hot little potato right now.
I didn't get this way by accident.
Okay, he's riled up. Oh, boy. All right.
He's talking so fast.
Jeff got him to the horseradish again.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, show off those socks, Jeff.
We'll be back in about... we'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, nobody talk. Folks, welcome back to the Giant Beastcast. You're watching this live at giantbomb.com/chat. We've been going live around Thursdays, 1:30 Eastern time. That's Eastern time. Yeah, if you're listening to this recorded, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks. Joined back again, Abby, Alex, and Jeff. You ready to do some news?
Sure.
Oh yeah, lay it on me.
Alex Navarro, let's start with the news you've pulled this week. You pulled the news. Now explain it all to me.
Okay. You know about that PS5?
I have heard they're making a PS5, and this is one that I actually did get a chance to look at yesterday.
Yeah, so the PlayStation 5, which as we all know is called that because it will have 5 PlayStations in it, there is a controller. There's going to be one.
Whoa,
they made one.
It's got a controller?
It's got a controller, and they showed it, and it looks a little bit like a sexy robot.
So it looks like Astrobot.
Yeah.
It looks to me like if in Detroit Become Human, they were like, okay, we got to make a future PS5, like future PS4. Put it in, design it up a little bit, but it's still the same controller.
These
and,
all play.
This is what it looks like. It looks fine though. I mean, this is it looks exactly the same, just like fake futurism.
I think it's very Mass Effect. It's got a real Mass Effect clean future vibe. So I'll go with that. But I respect all the other comparisons. I feel like they're all very valid. My thing is off the bat. right out of the gate, gut is saying it looks more Xbox controller-y than PlayStation controller-y. A little squarer.
There are like some angles that's very Xbox controller.
Yeah, and
I mean, the sticks being where they are is very PlayStation, but
Right.
yes, right, of course.
Some of the handle smoothing is because they're less of like the just like tubes that come down the bottom of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I at first when I saw this, I was like, man, we're reaching the singularity on controllers, the refinements on the perfect controller since Xbox and then 360 and Xbox One, and then since PS2, PS3, PS4, they've been slowly iterating towards this kind of convergence point to make the perfect controller. And I think the DualShock and the Xbox One controller are fantastic controllers. They feel great.
I love both of them.
And this seems like a departure, a new evolutionary track, which could be interesting. So we'll see where it goes. I was not super excited when I first saw it, but I have not held it yet. I don't know if it'll be super comfortable. The buttons look lower profile, like they will have. I don't know if that's true or not. But
Yeah, it's tough to tell from a photo.
it's tough to tell. They have that
I-
side view, which they look shallower, but it's tough to tell.
all I'll say is that a controller that is majority white plastic is going to get filthy very fast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
That's
have all
always
white
your
controllers,
take.
and they've been
It's
totally
always
fine.
Oh,
You're
but
like,
Abby, you're probably you're probably living clean. You haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
you're
dirty.
not wrong.
It's dirty over here.
I think I think it's interesting, like when you really look at it, it's not very different. It's
No.
more
Yeah, it feels like I feel so nothing about this. It's the same.
yeah,
It's
it
exactly the
doesn't
same. There's
matter.
less light on the back. People should be happy about that. It's not on the front under the big button, but
Right, it just flanks the touchpad, or as
Yeah.
Vinny, what do you call it, Vinny?
the
big
map
button.
button.
The big map
oh,
button.
I mean that's
Yeah.
not wrong.
It's a map button.
Well, you know what I think is interesting about all this though, and for me, it's like, okay, great. It looks, I think it's a nice looking thing. I'm looking forward to holding it. But
Yeah.
what I think is interesting is like them basically, they have a different kind of need to approach. They have a different way of needing to approach all this now, right? Because what you need to convey with messaging now is like, this is the reason you need a PS5, right? Like, as opposed to owning an Xbox or a PC, right? Because now, for all intents and purposes, that's kind of like the same-ish thing now.
Are you talking about like console exclusives being not all there?
Right. And basically saying like, hey, a PS5 controller will always be unique to the PS5. Like, you could use a DualShock on a PC, but what they're describing, their like proprietary sort of touch stuff or whatever the hell that is, I think like that's the start of them making a case, I think.
Well, let's talk about what's in here, like because you mentioned the proprietary touch stuff. So it's called the DualSense.
Very vague.
Yeah,
it's very vague.
It's called the DualSense. They're it sounds like they're incorporating some of the Rumble, the more intense HD Rumble stuff from maybe like the Switch has into their triggers, the
L and L2 and R2.
Yeah, the haptic feedback stuff, which I want to say the Xbox controller has, right?
Yes, I think so.
It has I believe it has specialized like locational vibration.
Interesting.
So I haven't used my Xbox in a long time, so I haven't used the Xbox One controller in a while. Anything on the PC, but for anything on the PC, they're changing around the light bar a bit, like we mentioned. It's not just kind of blaring out the front. Obviously, you see this color scheme if you're looking at it, that kind of white with black pants on it, which is just so Mass Effect ship uniform to me. That weird cut down the crotch. What else is on this thing? Because when I saw it, I was like, "Wow, we're in for a whole new ball game." And then when I read the description of it, I was like, "Oh, this is not that."
It seems
well. So
I saw it and I was like, "Oh, the thumbsticks are exactly the same. Like it's just got more white on it."
Yeah, so they've done away with the share button, but it is basically the same thing. They've had a new thing called Create, which I believe is just it's the same functionality, but I think there's more you can do on the system side to like edit clips and things like that. That seems to be the implication. They haven't really gone into detail on that yet. There's also a built-in microphone in the
Yes.
controller. So if you just want to jump in and like their example was, hey, if you just want to jump into a quick online conversation with your friends, that's a great way to do it without having to pull out your headset. But also, you probably still want to use a headset when you're actually playing games.
Or if you want to, or I would say the probably more realistic pitch to that is if you want to accidentally be streaming your TV speakers out to everybody else who's playing Call of Duty. Here we go. Here's a great way to do that. If you want everybody to hear you yelling at your kids or getting into an argument with family members, now there's never been a better, easier way to do that. I hope. Do you think the system will default to having this microphone off for games?
I would hope so.
I don't know.
The amount of people that are gonna accidentally be having this thing on and not knowing it will be.
You are going to hear so many divorces in progress.
I hear so many people yelling at their kids when playing Call of Duty. A lot of like, I'll get to it later. Like, just not right now. Give me a few minutes.
Or just like people having to mute everybody because they're just chomping on chips or something. So yeah, I think that stuff that's a good pack in though. That the little headset they always packed in with the
it's like one earbud.
Yeah, that stuff sucked. So you might as well just have it built into the controller. I mean, obviously,
this will still suck, but it will just at least it's there and it's not an extra wire.
Yeah, I won't lose it.
It'll be nice for things like Dreams or something if you just want to add sound effects very easily without having to get a headset and all of that.
Or like if you play PT and you got to say Jareth and you have to figure out a way to do that.
You're never going to be able to play PT on a PS5. I'm telling you that right now. That ain't
no, we're going to make it work.
Apparently, it still has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, so you can still put your headsets in. It's kind of hard to see in the pictures. What they show the USB-C charging port, which is nice, on the back of it. The USB-C confirmed. I don't know anything else. That's kind of what's the deal with the PlayStation button on it? Do we know?
I noticed that it's like not the big circle with it printed on there. It's like the button in the shape of a PlayStation logo.
Is that depressible? Is that an actual button?
It's harder to clean. It looks like an actual button. It looks like there's also a button underneath it, or like a light or some kind of sensor. It looks like there's an extra button down there.
Maybe that'll tell you if your microphone's on.
Or maybe that's how you turn it on and off.
Oh, maybe it's a
maybe it's
button.
like another select button. Because if you have like a share button and a start button, maybe it's like a select button. You know what I mean?
Oh yes. Reading this now, it says microphone mute button beneath the PlayStation logo /home button.
Great.
So yeah, I think it doesn't sound. They say transformative. We'll see. You know, they call
they have to say that.
Well, they call it a radical departure from our previous controller offerings.
It's definitely the biggest departure they've made in like I don't know, over a decade.
You're right. I mean, yes, but okay. Here's the thing. I was talking to you, Jeff, a little bit about this kind of privately. PlayStation probably has the worst track record for controllers. I mean, I think they peaked at the dual analog stick. That was great.
Adding that.
Two sticks was great. And then they did things like remove rumble, right? And then and then they put in the 6-axis, which was like everybody's going to be moving their controller around to do stuff.
Sure.
And like works for some stuff,
although
but didn't get widely
there's
adopted.
some. I mean, they didn't do it in PlayStation really, but that stuff was great in Splatoon kind of stuff.
So that's why I don't mention Nintendo, because I think Nintendo commits and makes good on it, right? They build it into an integral part.
Dude, text entry with motion is great.
Text entry with motion.
I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But also, I think I just go back to the D-pad now. I think it's faster for me.
I think I might be with you too. The other thing is then they put the trackpad on, which is, again, on paper sounds cool, but then became the biggest map button on. It takes up a lot of real estate, and I don't think I've seen anybody use it but for a map button or some very highly specific cases.
Swipe a page.
I think there every now and then you see someone use it and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Or at least when you can divide it into 4 corners, like some good stuff there.
But kind of going back to what you said about console exclusives being fewer and farther between, I think it takes a little more work for a developer to specifically make something unique for like a PlayStation controller that won't then, pun intended, map over to something like an Xbox controller or whatever you're using on the PC.
Well, the things they were describing were like kind of like cosmetic, right? Like the sort of feedback you'd be getting.
Right. You still have to program
maybe not functionality.
Yeah. The adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, and built-in microphone. That's all. Great. That sounds good. I love it. Hopefully this thing
So
doesn't
we've,
cost $80, but it probably will.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's just where we're at now, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see if you're going to do this thing in the white with the black pants. I would love to see a bunch of other colors. This looks like a bundle, you know. And that was my first thing I said to Brad when I was talking to him about it privately. Was like, man, I can't wait to see that console. If this is what the controller's going to look like.
I will say I don't like the look of the controller. I like how the colors are kind of blocked out on our current controllers a little bit better, with sort of like the different color being on like the back bottom. I feel like it makes more sense. I don't know. This is weird. I don't like it.
You don't like it? You don't like the scheme?
I don't like it aesthetically.
Yeah. It's it looks like a bundle controller. It looks like a Mass Effect bundle PlayStation, or like a Destiny bundle PlayStation controller.
We get it. It looks like Mass Effect.
It looks like Mass Effect.
Looks like this is what like people in 2008 thought like 2050 would look like. You know what I mean?
Mass Effect.
Well, yeah. I also think your Detroit description is spot on too.
Yeah.
I almost want the back trigger buttons to also be white, like in this whole scheme. But you can't have everything.
It's also my current white PlayStation controller. The joysticks, the back triggers, and the buttons are all dark, which I think actually works. At first I was like, oh, this should be white, but now that I've had it for a while, I'm like, actually, I'm okay with it. Even the top button is dark.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's I think the biggest question it raises is, what does this console look like? Is this console gonna look like an egg now? Like I believe that, like I believe anything seeing this thing. Like, what is it gonna look like? I have no idea. If they just put out like a flat box, like a black flat box, I will be very disappointed at this point.
I would be thrilled. Give me something that looks like nothing to put by my television, please, for the love of God.
Don't get fancy.
No, I want it to have curves. I want it to be the thing that you could never open up and get inside, because it's all proprietary. The hard drive is just they have to bend it to get
curved.
it in there. Yeah,
the hard drive is curved.
The hard drive is curved. The optical discs they sell are just going to be curved as well, and you kind of got to just bend them and get in there.
I want it to look like a Mass Effect spaceship.
Sure. Okay, and all the games are little ships. You have to dock on it. You just have to kind of fly them up there and dock into it. I think for me, aside from what this looks like, USB-C, which I guess it's probably going to be white. Is USB-C is great, but that was all but guessed.
But I mean, it better fucking have USB-C.
You would think so.
What are we doing?
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Controller. That's any other thoughts on it?
No.
I thought it was interesting that they described it as feels smaller than it looks,
because it does look huge.
I guess. I mean, like, there's no way to know if you're doing a 1-to-1 comparison of like a photo of the DS4, right? Like, there's no way to know, but like I just thought the language there was funny, where it's like, it looks really big, but when you hold it, it's not going to feel so big.
But I'm curious though, because like, I feel like when I think of like the Xbox controller versus the PlayStation controller, I think of the Xbox controller as seeming much bigger, like not that much bigger, but they feel bigger and it seems bigger. So I feel like
they're
this
weightier.
Seems more comparable to like an Xbox controller, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it'll still be tiny.
I didn't see this in any of the tech stuff, but doesn't mean that it's not there. What Bluetooth this thing will have in it, what it's going to use, if it's going to do audio from the controller, I'm sure it'll use at the time the latest Bluetooth spec, but it'd be nice if all that stuff were at current Bluetooth standards or above. I mean, Sony kind of goes all in on Bluetooth. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I think Microsoft is the one that always uses their own standard, but then wound up putting Bluetooth in the Xbox One X controllers. So if they're going to pass audio over this thing and with built-in stuff, I hope it's very good. That's always a nice little bit of feedback. But and the battery life, what that's like, and with all the feedback it's doing and Rumble stuff, hopefully that's very
good. I like Rumble. I want good Rumble. I want trigger Rumble.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bring all the Rumbles. Yeah. The battery on the DS4 is kind of shit.
It's not the best.
I mean, remember, what was it? Was it the DualShock 3 or was it the early DualShock 4 that didn't have Rumble in it? Was that the first?
The early 3.
Was the 3? That thing.
Yeah, it was 3.
I think mine
Oh,
is still
yeah.
charged. I mean, that thing just lasted forever.
They're
You
so
know.
lightweight too.
So it felt like it felt broken, but
That was
Right.
such a weird
It
thing.
like felt hollow.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was
It was so weird.
that battery though.
Even yeah, because the whole thing was a battery. That's the funniest thing. Like I just even back then when that thing came out, what was that? 06, 05, 06, something like that. You were just like, hey, what do they do? This thing's gonna eventually have rumble. What's happening?
Well, it had 6 axis. It was the 6 axis. Then it became the DualShock 3. Isn't
Get
that right?
out of
Yeah,
here.
it did. Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right. So any other comments on here? I feel like this is our biggest news thing, but once you dig in, I think
It's just a damn controller. It's a controller. They showed it.
It's a controller that, you know, it's not like they added a 5th face button, you know, like, or, you know, it's still got us. If you're listening to this and haven't seen it, it still has the square, triangle, circle, and cross or X, or depending on where you're from. Still has a D-pad, still has 2 analog sticks in the same spot next to each other. So it's still got a trigger button, still has shoulder buttons. It's still a controller. Can
I play my video games with it? Yes. Okay, cool.
Well, like,
yeah,
I'll be serious. Like, you know, this thing looks expensive, right? I mean, they went out of their way to like make this adapter thing that adds back buttons to the current DS4. Where are the fucking back buttons on this thing?
So they have
you'll get your DualSense Elite about a year after the console comes out, I think.
But they've never done that.
So
yeah,
maybe they'll do it.
And now is the time.
They didn't show any I've only seen the 3 pictures, unless there are more of them out there. I've only seen I'm looking at the polygon write-up right now. The front, the kind of close-up front, and the 3/4 view
thing.
Are there more pictures that show the back of it?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
maybe they're there and they're just hidden.
Why on earth would they hide that?
I don't know. Maybe
they don't want people to know until they buy it and have it.
They're not that good.
Fun surprise.
Or maybe that thing you have that
maybe it's like a prototype they haven't finished designing it.
The back buttons will be or maybe it'll be like the was it the Vita who had the touch things on the back?
Oh yeah, I didn't hate that. In like Tearaway when you like hook your fingers up through.
That was the only good use of it ever.
Yeah, Tearaway was the only good use of it.
I think Gravity Rush may have done stuff. Oh, Katamari, you like squeeze and push the like.
I was gonna say add another one to the Sony controller. Well, maybe could have been. So
Sony tried a lot of stuff with that Vita.
Yeah.
If you didn't grimace a little bit after reading the first time they say touch in this blog, where you're like, oh, you guys in touch? You still climbing that tree? Still gonna go up that tree?
Yeah, well, maybe slide stuff around. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a thing. Maybe it will be a thing. What do I know?
Sure. Yeah.
I hope it's not $1 million, because I would like to get multiple of them. We do.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of money.
We do local things here. Has Sony said, I've been kind of out of the news for a while here. Has Sony said if the DualShock 4 will work with the PS5 on some stuff? Well, because I know Microsoft
I don't think they've
has
said that explicitly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be a nice thing. All right. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about the PS5 in the coming months. Some people in chat, as we're doing this live, has said that yes, it will.
Okay.
And that's awesome.
Great.
That's great. That makes things a lot better for me.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna move on. What is up next, Alex?
These next ones are all pretty quick hits, so I'll just kind of get through them here. Vinny, you've played some Rocksmith in your day.
I do. I really have liked Rocksmith. I really have liked Rocksmith in my day.
Yes.
And people have always asked me, do you think that it is a great tool to learn on? In the past, I've always said I think it's a great tool to practice with.
Yeah. So Rocksmith 2014, which was the last iteration of that game, and they did a remaster of it for the modern consoles in 2016, but it's basically that core game. They have been doing DLC for that game for 383 straight weeks, which amounts to about 1,570 songs, according to this news story. But they are officially discontinuing DLC support for Rocksmith 2014. As you know, I'm a big fan of music games that continue to support their communities for long after release date. Everyone I know who plays guitar or has tried Rocksmith out has said great things about it. The DLC support has, by all accounts, been very good. So, disappointing, but at the same time, that's a long time to be doing that. And it sounds like Ubisoft San Francisco, which is the studio that works on this, is going to be moving on to another project soon. So that's why they are ultimately deciding to bail out now.
I have a question. Is this
Yes.
a thing that's like, oh, I want to get into the game now, and I'd like to buy DLC that they've already put out at my leisure. Can I do that? Or
Yes.
is it a thing that's like, oh, there's no more new DLC?
No more new DLC.
Okay.
You can
but if you wanted
to
buy the pre-existing, you can, and if you already have it, you're going to be fine.
Totally. I don't know how easy it is to find one of those adapters that they sold with the game. I have absolutely no idea like what the availability of that shit is. But I think if you can find one of those, yeah, like all the DLC is still there, and the game isn't going away. It's just that they're not going to keep adding DLC to it.
So you might be able to find, depending on what platform you're playing on, a third party. It's a USB to TRS jack.
The XLR or whatever.
Jack. Yeah, it's a 1/4-inch jack to plug your guitar into your PlayStation or into your PC. And if PC, I would assume you can probably get a third-party one that works. I don't know about Xbox. That stuff is sometimes proprietary, and I don't know much about the Sony version or the PlayStation version. But it's cool. It's cool. Obviously, you have to have your own real guitar. So that that's a thing, and it has to be.
Does the feedback with it work pretty well as far as it registering what you're playing?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's mostly pitch sensing. I don't know exactly what the technology is in there, but like they have fun little games, and you're really playing the song, and you hear the lag on it was actually pretty good because you're hearing it in the game. So from what I played, it was always pretty good, and they'll try and put filters on your guitar, your electric guitar, or
oh, that's cool,
or like even like an Ovation or something, an acoustic electric hybrid. So they'll probably try to make it sound like the guitar in the song.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's neat, but you have to, you're playing real guitar, so
yes,
right.
That's the thing on it, and I think
that's cool though.
I think it's a little tough to learn on sometimes. But again, I think as a practice tool, I found it to be fun.
I think of the various video game attempts at making something that is like a learning tool for music and guitar, Rocksmith was far and away the best one. Like, no, I never saw anyone complain about the systems for that one. And, granted, Rock Band 3's real guitar support did not last beyond that game. So there really was only kind of one game in town, but I always felt like Rocksmith just did the best job with it.
I'm like fascinated by this. It seems cool.
It's cool. It is cool. I haven't touched it in a while. I still have my cable and everything here because maybe someday I will go back into it. But we did some streams with it. It's fun. You can like noodle around in there. They even have like a mode, I think, where you play and it tries to put a backing track underneath you and match your tempo, and put a bass in that will match your pitch or your key that you're in.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's cool. Alex, what else we got?
So you know how E3 was canceled?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so it's still canceled, but they the folks at the ESA have apparently gone out and decided to set some dates for 2021 for their grand return to all things E3. So June 15th through 17th is when this theoretical 2021 E3 will take place. We'll see how that goes.
I assume this is still in LA and still in the Staples Center?
Yeah, there's not any indication that they are talking about moving venues or anything like that.
Okay.
And as an addendum to this, non-E3 related, but similar, I have seen some scuttlebutt going around that there's some talk about GDC reconvening this August. But I have also seen a number of developers say that seems incredibly optimistic, and also maybe don't go out of your way to make more travel plans just yet, because that seems like it could very easily get just fully canceled at some point. So some reason to be skeptical there.
Okay.
So did Sony pull out of E321 yet?
Not yet. I'm sure they are just waiting for the right time to get that news out there.
Oh, how great would that be? Like 10 minutes later, a release from them.
Yeah, we're not going.
Yep, that one too. That one too.
But just the language would be like, after careful consideration, like 10 minutes later, after careful consideration, we decided it's just not the right time for that. All right. Well, we'll see, right? I would, like kind of like echoing your GDC thing. It's so hard even to think about next week, let alone what August, let alone what June 2021 is.
Yeah.
I mean, oh boy, there's so much else going on.
Yeah, there is. There are much bigger things to worry about.
There's so much else going on, and then within the bubble of the games industry, there's console releases. So much going on before next E3 that is like in my head. Best of luck to all that. What else, Alex?
Indeed. This is just a very quick one. If you were playing No Man's Sky, guess what? There are mechs now.
That's cool.
So
Hey,
these are mechs.
oh.
They are mechs. They look kind of cool, actually. They can jump. They're apparently immune to planetary hazards, according to this Kotaku story that I'm reading. And Vinny, this is probably the most interesting part for you. If you are playing this game in VR, they have immersive cockpits.
I like an immersive cockpit.
I know
Is
how
that
you love
even with
that.
the live ship? Didn't they have a ship that was like alive?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I want to see an immersive cockpit with that meaty ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about the meat ship and the
Meat
immersive cockpitness of it.
So like
but I
a
will say-
real meaty cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
a
it's
meaty.
This
Yeah.
is no.
Yeah, we have to stop this now. But yeah, so it's a new update in No Man's Sky. People like mechs. I figured people would want to know about that. So there you go.
For sure.
Cool.
I as somebody who only has PlayStation VR, great, awesome.
Yeah.
I need another thing to drop on there. This is free. This is a free update.
I believe it's a free update.
Cool. I should launch that game again. I have to clean off my external hard drive now. I have too much stuff on it, and I don't want to do that. But it's
Okay.
not that hard, and I should. Why am I?
I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, man.
What else we got going on?
All right, this one's a little out there. It's not strictly game related or really that game related, but I felt like I needed to talk about this because this has been baking my fucking skull ever since I heard the news.
Okay.
You know how there's no sports right now, how
Yes.
that kind of sports got canceled and they're not doing that.
Mhm.
Well, I've seen some different leagues talking about like alternate ways of doing a season, trying to figure out plans. Maybe everyone plays baseball in Arizona. Maybe everyone does this, what have you. Dana White of the UFC fame has taken a slightly different approach to this. He just decided he wants his own Enter the Dragon Island. So he has apparently gone out and secured a private island where he is planning on flying international UFC fighters to presumably live there and fight until this is over with.
Could you have to win to escape the island?
I don't think they've explicitly said that yet, but that's the only way this can go, right?
This is how Mortal Kombat starts.
Yes!
Well, aside from the superpowers, but yes.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dana White can buy an island. Must be doing something right, Jack.
You want an island?
Yeah.
I'll get you an island. Don't worry.
Yeah,
about it.
I do want an island.
This it's just like I was talking about this with some of my my hockey buddies, and they were like, wow, this is so stupid. I just hope none of the other sports start to get wise to it and try and do it themselves.
Football island?
No.
Because the only reason to presumably do this is so that you are the only game in town.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, you know.
Yeah, it's like that Simpsons episode where they get rid of television and then Krusty flies to the fucking the community access TV station and becomes the only thing on TV.
Although I guess there has been wrestling, right?
Yeah, but they've been doing that stuff in empty arenas, and they also pre-taped apparently a whole bunch of it. So I'm not sure that they're actually reconvening weekly for that.
How do you pre-tape with the unknown knowledge that there will be a pandemic?
Well, no, I'm saying like they started doing these empty arena shows, and I think they just lined a bunch of them up on one day to tape a bunch of stuff for the future, so they don't have to have people
Gotcha.
constantly traveling.
I heard that was very weird. Was that very weird, WrestleMania?
I didn't watch WrestleMania. I will say that from what I saw of it, the matches where they went out of their way to do some shit outside the arena and get real fucking weird seemed like the highlights of those shows. Whereas the parts where they just did wrestling to no one was maybe a little less interesting.
I hope Dana White's Island is basically they got a lot of those when Cards Against Humanity years ago did that Christmas thing and they got like a 1 foot by 1 foot square on an island. I hope Dana White just has like 6 of those. And people just have to be on like 1 foot, be like, "What do you think I had a real island? Do you think I have a real island? No, and don't go on that guy's square. That's not our square. Our square is over here."
I don't know.
bizarre. That is some dark future stuff. Having a fighting island is
Yeah,
just,
that's pretty far down the dystopian bingo card, you know? Like that's not
Yeah.
that's you fucked up several different ways societally by the
Yeah.
time you get there.
yeah,
So
yeah. Okay.
also, honestly, if we're gonna do this, I really wish we had a better class of supervillain than Dana fucking White. That dude sucks. Like, can
Yeah.
we please get someone with some fucking panache, some style to have their fucking secret private fight island? Dana White's just some fucking meathead dipshit.
Yeah. All those things you said, it sound right to me.
Yeah.
Like if Ric Flair came out and said he was starting a fighting island, I feel like I can get.
Oh, he ain't got that kind of money anymore, man.
He's just in the middle of like a highway, like the median in the middle of a highway, just being like, "This is it."
He rented out a burnt out Shoney's in fucking North Carolina, and is like, "Hey, check it out. Here's where we're doing this."
Oh man. All right. Well, just stay tuned, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Is this really happening, Alex, or it's just like a fake?
It
story?
hasn't happened yet, but he
Okay.
is going around telling people that this is what he's going to do. Like, he is saying this is his plan. So until Fight 1 happens, it's still technically speculation. But he seems like, you know, bullheaded and nightmarish enough to actually go through with this. So why not? Fuck it.
It always works out. Everything I've ever seen about flying a bunch of like wealthy people onto their own island, having like an event there usually seems to work out, right?
If you're gonna
Fire Festival, that would.
Oh yeah,
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fighter.
Can't wait for
Festival.
the 2 different documentaries about this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Abby, let's go start a documentary company. So
Yeah.
let's get the exclusive rights on this one already.
Uh,
All right, Alex, is there more news?
that's all I got.
Okay, then I think we're going to take another break here and come back for some emails. Run down the emails pretty quickly. Stay tuned. We're going to take a pretty quick break this time. I'll play the break music. Don't go away. Hold on. Here it comes. You're going to love this one. Here it goes. Oh yeah, here we go. We're back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. Oh, look at these emails. No, I can't do the whole thing.
All right.
We're gonna do some emails next. If you wanna email us, you gotta do that at beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. That's where you get the emails to us. Abby, Russell, you've looked through these emails. You have picked the emails and set them up for us to read. What do you got?
Okay. Alex, will you
Mhm.
read this one from Richie?
I
Email
will.
from Richie.
Okay, Richie says, a workmate of mine used to work for a trucking company, and while he was there, they had a competition where the prize was an Xbox and a copy of Euro Truck Simulator. To make things even more ridiculous, it was a PC copy of the game, so the winner couldn't even play it on their new Xbox. I was gonna say, I don't think that game ever came out on Xbox. Have you any of you ever won any ridiculous or terrible prizes?
I won a prize on a work trip that was a Bodog poker set at
Cool.
a not poker. It was one of those Vivendi events, and it was not about
Mhm.
poker games. And that's the only thing I won that I can remember being like, do I want this? Can I have this? Should I take this? What do I do with this?
That's
In
fun.
college, I won a Dreamcast, and it was the PAL version.
Okay, all right.
Wait,
all right.
what's PAL?
That's
Just
the European version.
European video format.
Oh.
Yeah, and
That's
they actually, it was like some weird blog, but they actually they said they gave me money and said to buy a real one. Oh, look at that! You got your Bodog.
I held up my Bodog.
It's like a
Mhm.
tiny
knew-
briefcase.
I knew someone who worked for Bodog back in the day.
Bodog.
Is it still a thing?
What is Bodog?
I don't know. It was like
It's like-
online.
It was a
gambling.
poker site.
Oh, okay, sure.
I thought it was like, wasn't it other gambling stuff too?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
remember. I
I
just
don't
remember
know.
the poker part.
Yeah. What about you, Abby?
What'd you
Any
do with
shitty gifts?
What'd you do with your pal Dreamcast? My pal
I don't.
Superfly. My pal
What the hell
Dreamcast.
did I? I think I had to
Yourself?
return it. I think I returned it to them, but
Okay.
they gave me cash to buy
Oh,
a
that's nice.
Dreamcast. Yeah, I didn't buy a
Um,
Dreamcast. No.
my thing, so these aren't necessarily weird, but for like the first three, like things like prize raffles, whatever they're called, I submitted for, I won all three, which is very weird for me. So like, I remember the first one, I was like, sure, I'll put in my email for this. I don't have to do anything. And I won like a signed Parks and Rec script.
Ooh.
It was like I had just turned 18 and was like, cool.
That's
Now I have like
cool.
a Parks and Rec script. Everybody signed it. It's from the like penguin episode where they marry a couple of penguins. So
That's
that was fun.
Yeah.
And then like I think I won like a couple other like soon after, and I was like, man, I'm winning all of these. Why don't people enter these all the time? And then I've never won again.
That's fun though. You still have the script.
But I won like 3. Yeah, I could grab it right now if we wanted it.
Hold up your Bro Dog script.
It's green. Yeah.
Alex, have you won a major award?
No, I almost
Major
never.
award.
Almost every contest I've ever entered, I've never won. I'm very poor luck when it comes to those things. The only thing I can remember was when I was in like 3rd grade, they were having one of those like raffle auction type things where like, people would go in, they would like put down like, hey, here's a raffle ticket, you buy for $1 or something, and you can win some random door prize or a series of door prizes, whatever. The only one I ever remember winning was at this one where I threw in one ticket literally for like $1. And I won an entire box of 1990 Donruss baseball cards.
Nice.
Like a big box of them. And I remember opening it, and there was exactly one good rookie card in any of the packs. And I got the same like repeat, like fucking, I don't know, whoever, like Paul Molitor or whoever the fuck it was. I got the same card like 17 times in that pack, which is just like in that box. Which
There's
is
a lesson there.
Yeah. Whatever it was not very valuable. I remember looking it up. And so nonetheless, it was still fun to open a million packs, but it was just like, Jesus Christ, I got almost nothing out of it.
The terrible thing now is anything I participate in is probably a mix of adults or parents and kids. So now I'm faced with the very awkward situation of I will buy in the raffle to participate or to do a charity or whatever it is, and then if I win, have to just be like, I give this away. I can't. There's a bunch of kids here who are like, he won, like a bunch of 6-year-olds, and like here comes like dad up there, be like, awesome, check it out, I got this banana fanny pack, or as they would, I guess, hip bag, whatever. Like, oh, cool. Or, who wants it? And just throw it into the crowd. Because like,
I would love it if you just were like, I won, and then walked over and throw it in the trash can and leave.
This is garbage. But it's usually for like a charity or something like that. So you buy raffle tickets, and I'll give them to all the kids, and then I'll hold on to some. But then it's just like 5, 7, 6, 8. Like kind of slowly raise my hand and be like, that's me. That's me. All right, what's up next, Abby?
Okay, Jeff, will you read this one from Jordan, please?
Most certainly. Are you good at pinball? If so, how does one get good at pinball? I like playing it, but I'm terrible and the money goes so quickly. That's
Teach us,
Jordan
Jeff.
in Seattle. So I'm like, I can be good at pinball, but
you have 2 machines in your home. I feel like you have no excuse.
It's true.
Look, I'm good.
I'm great at video games.
I'm better than most people, I would imagine. But like, you just have to. A lot of it too is learning the table. Like you and what's wild about pinball is like you can have identical games, but they have their own sort of nuances independently. So like. You really have to
understand. One of the legs is shorter than the other, so it's uneven.
Well, like if in a perfect world everything's leveled correctly, so you don't really have to worry about that. But like sometimes a rubber piece somewhere is not as bouncy as it was out of the box, and there's like little things that change, so you get used to the way things play, and over time things weaken, and it's just this big machine with thousands of parts, so it's like tough to really narrow it down. That said, there are professional players, there are ranked players that are continually the best in the business, so obviously there is a secret or there is a skill that that is the people get good enough where they're like, oh, I'm the best or whatever it is.
Right.
But the first thing is learning the machine. Like you're just not going to be good at pinball walking up to a game you've never played before. It's just not going to happen. I mean, you can, maybe put something together and sort of figure out the objectives and whatnot, but you really have to kind of or at least at the very least understand the basic objectives. Like no one's going to know exactly what to do right away. Like in Willy Wonka, it's like there's so many things to achieve, right? Like, do I go for one of the multi-balls, or do I collect all the golden tickets, or do I do something else? So like you kind of chart where you want to go, and then that's how I approach it. Like a table I've never played before, I'm like, okay, what's the first multi-ball I can unlock? And then I kind of work towards that. Yeah, like every game has like
objectives are overwhelming. Like when I
I've never played a pinball game and been like, I'm going to try to do a thing. I'm just like, I'm going to try to make sure the ball doesn't go down the bottom.
And like 9 times out of 10, like that's fine. That's the way to do it. Now that all new machines have screens, I think, especially compared to machines but pre LCD, you look at the screen and there are more clear rules and objectives, right? So I think the messaging has gotten better in that regard. But a lot of it too is shaking the table and like knowing how to bail yourself out.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah.
So you don't get locked out from the tilt?
Well, so every game has like different sensitivities for tilt. You can actually adjust it. It's like a plumb bob. You know
That's
what that
cool.
is?
Yeah. So
I know that from The Sims.
It makes contact if it tilts too much. Like
right. So
I didn't know a plumb bob was a real thing. I've only ever heard it for The Sims. It's this thing that's on your head.
Yeah. Well, it's not the diamond. Yeah. But
am I wrong? Look it up.
So it hangs down like a little like
it's just a weight on a rope or a string,
and it lets you know if your pinball machine is hungry or in a good mood or.
Right, and what you do is you raise it or lower it, and that elevation decides the sensitivity of the thing. Because if you move it, then the metal touches contact with that outer metal ring and activates the tilt.
Is that still in Wonka, or is that did you use accelerometers?
It's in all of them. That's how they do it. Yeah. So with Wonka, it's pretty sensitive. I've been meaning to lower it, but in Funhouse, you could like hit it with a sledgehammer, and it's
that goes
not going to tilt. Yeah, are you kidding? Because it's like, really, a sledgehammer?
Yeah,
I'm back from the dead. You think a sledgehammer's gonna
hurt me more?
So for me, like learning how to nudge games, especially when you have those two in lanes that go to the flippers, and then on the outside of those two in lanes are the ones that drain.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Those are the out lanes.
Yeah,
in lanes and out lanes. So getting making sure you jam that thing real nice. There's players who like put their foot on the leg.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like facing almost like a gas pedal.
And just
like
pop it?
And just like use that as leverage to move the machine.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
How do they have that much force in their like ankle?
Well, no, it's not just the ankle, but it helps. It makes it easier to nudge with your arms, with your hands when the time comes.
That's some real dedicated pinball playing.
I mean, it's part of the game. Like people in the stream last week were like, "How are you shaking your machine so much?" I'm like, "It's part of the game, dog."
That's how I live, man.
That's not cheating.
Hey, do it.
I'm sure it looks like an earthquake when your cameras are all moving too.
It's funny. I thought that would be a problem, but it's not so obvious for whatever reason. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe the iPhone, because using the iPhone on the screen, right, has like a
using the iPhone on the screen, and that kind of I don't think it. Either way, I don't think that moves as much. That's just more sort of. But you may be only moving it. I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, half an inch. Have you
taken the glass off the top of the Wonka yet?
Yeah, of course.
Have you played it with the glass off and just put the ball in the things to have fun? Just be like, get in there.
Well, like there's modes you enter with testing them to make sure things are working. So you're supposed to do that, like as part of maintenance. Some streamers stream only with the glass off, so it reduces glare. I don't do that shit.
I've played
pinball. Now that I'm a pro streamer,
Well, you have that. What is it called? Invisiglass.
Dude, that's how wild is that?
It was good.
Right?
It was good. Yeah, I've had pinball games where
the
ball hits the glass. Not all the time, but there's some.
Yeah,
sometimes it's wild.
It happens. I've never seen it happen with the glass off. I would imagine it would pop out.
I guess I don't know. But, hit you in the face.
I'm just that's not a pinball's not like a pellet. It is like a ball bearing that will hurt you. I think.
Yeah. I don't want that would take somebody out. Anything else, Jeff? Before we move on to the next question.
So I hope that answered your question, Jordan. You just got to learn the machine. That's how you get better. Learn it. And after a while, you develop like the ability to like transfer the ball from flipper to flipper, catch it,
Oh wow.
do stuff like that.
Like
But just
hacky
watch my
sack.
kid. He's filthy. So.
Yeah.
Give him a bath, Jeff.
Yeah, wash that child.
Yeah.
Abby, what's next?
Okay, Vinny, will you read this one from Aaron, please?
Sure. Well, what are some games that have great starts, but as the game goes on, it gets worse? For example, I had to scroll. For example, I would say Fallout 4 compared to 3 and New Vegas. I found the lack of significant choices in general lacking. Most areas in the game are just shooter levels with little room for interesting twists or choices to make. Thanks. That's from Aaron in Vancouver. What?
My first thought was Resident Evil 4.
Wait, that gets worse?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think remember playing that stream, it was like cool, strong start, and then the more you played, it was like, this is some bullshit. Ashley's running around.
Okay, fair. I can
There's
see
a
that.
lot of
It's
stuff.
funny.
That was
It
like,
definitely
all
gets
right.
funnier. That's for
That
sure.
my little Lord boy, I loved him. But
Yeah.
I'll agree with that sentiment. Like, I think the thing everyone remembers from that game is like the early village levels,
Sure.
and then as stuff goes on, it starts getting on. Maybe a little more. It's definitely not as interesting to me. I
Yeah.
still think that game is great, but yes, I totally see where that perspective comes from.
I think
I
you can
think
see the age the more you play it.
Yeah.
I think the first Halo game maybe gets a little lame.
I haven't played that in so
Uh-huh.
long.
I just
Yeah, it's been a
remember like
while.
the flood part.
Oh
where
yeah, the
where you're
library,
just like,
sure.
oh my gosh, what are we
But
doing?
that warthog sequence at the end is good. I did like that.
Yeah,
Did like
yeah. Picks
Uh,
back up.
I think a recent example for me was Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a game that I think has a pretty strong start. It definitely sets a nice atmosphere, and I'd say the opening 10 to 15 hours of that game is pretty compelling. And then you start doing those same things over and over and over and over again. And as much as opening up the map and finding new areas is fun, I don't think the content keeps up with it. And I think the story itself just kind of gets worse as it goes along, like sometimes in very funny ways, but not necessarily in ways that I think that they intend. I just think there's just too much of that game, but also I think that as it goes on, it isn't able to justify that size as it goes on.
I think AC1 has a similar issue where in the limited scope, you have to do the same things so often, eavesdrop on the conversation, stay hidden. I think the assassinations are better, but I think the getting the information in AC1 got kind of stale after a while. There are definitely games, I'm trying to think of games recently that I've played, because I probably haven't finished them now if I've fallen off because my time is limited. What's the one with the motorcycle and the zombies? That came out recently.
The Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. I think that started off okay and then got kind of routine and a little rote after a while, and then I put it down. Like I wasn't hating it at first, and then I wound up not finishing it just because it was like I got to do this again and again, and the upgrade tree wasn't there. There's definitely Tetris. It always starts off really well, and then the things get higher, and that's like not fun. Like it gets stressful, and who wants that? You always start off Tetris, you're clearing all the blocks at the bottom, and you're like, I could do this forever. I could do this forever. And then boom, suddenly you're at the top, and the game's over. And why did I get here?
I think poker's great when I've got all those chips in front of me, but after a while they just go away, and I think that sucks.
When you just add money?
Yeah, it's like what I had all these chips and now they're gone. Like, how was that fun?
Now I'm broke and tired. Trying to think what else. I think remember this, Alex? I did not viscerally hate Death Stranding when I started.
You didn't.
And then as it went, by the end, I had a real dislike for it, distaste for it.
I feel like it was also the ending specifically that turned you off of it.
Oh yeah.
Slow drop off. That was like, okay, I'll forgive this, I'll forgive that, and then be like, fuck this game.
Yeah, the last handful of hours of that game are extremely to its detriment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
There's a lot of. I think there's a lot of games like that. I would say there are more games that we're probably going over that have a really good idea that just goes on too long.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to keep it up. I mean, people want value and time out of games. A lot of the first questions anybody asks are, how long is this game, right? And if it's like, well, it's 5 hours, then people are like, that's it. So sometimes stuff stretches on. Abby, what's next?
Yeah.
That's it. Or should we do more?
Let's do
Do we
one
have time?
more.
That's
Let's
good.
do one more.
Okay.
One more. Okay. Why don't you do this one from Tim? Alex, please read this one from Tim.
Is it Tim or Tom? It says Tom on here.
There's
It
another
says
Tim
Tim
one.
at the top. There's Tim.
Wait, there's a Tim. Oh, there's Tim. I see it.
There's
Okay.
Tim.
There's Tim.
There's Tim. I've been working from home lately, and I've been using an old monitor I first bought in 2003 for my second screen extended display. What is the oldest piece of tech you've used on a regular basis?
I just see that and I think the oldest piece of shit I've ever used on a regular basis.
Me.
I use an old piece of shit Bluetooth mouse
Oh yeah.
from
Oh,
probably the same time period as 03 or 04 for whatever reason. Maybe because it's just that reliable. I don't know, but it was a Microsoft mouse. And it does. I think I started using it because I hate the little dongle guy. A Bluetooth mouse is definitely inferior, but I just still use it no matter what. It never fails.
Great.
As long as your laptop has Bluetooth. And like I also think it's got like I don't think I've charged it in I want to say 2 years either. So
What?
yeah,
That's
like
wild. I love that.
it's crazy.
Is it a
Every now and then
rollerball?
you like what's that?
Is it a rollerball?
No, it's not a rollerball, but every now and then you come across a mouse or like a piece of gadgetry where you're just like, I can't believe this thing still does its job perfectly.
Yeah.
We're just conditioned to think things fall apart, but yeah.
I think my oldest piece of tech that I love it. I stand by it. I recommend it. It was great. A weird piece of tech that was sold briefly and never again. I believe in 2006, according to this Google search I did.
Mhm.
But I have an iPod Hi-Fi, which is an Apple speaker system, which they I think released very briefly. It doesn't seem like many people had them. I love it. I use it all the time. That's like what my computer's hooked up into. It's a great set of speakers. It still has like the old iPod like charger
Yeah,
dongle.
the wide one.
Nothing works in there. Yeah, but it's has a headphone jack that I just plug my computer into. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Easy.
for my
Sorry.
computers, I would say for my computer speakers, I use. I think I got this from Sam when we moved in together. It was like her old JVC stereo system. That is my computer speaker. It's not that old because this CD player, which does not work anymore, has like CDR and MP3 support. So it can't have been like that far back, but it is nonetheless a bulky ass old stereo system that I just have on my desk that I use for my computer speakers. I also still have a Sony Bravia TV that's at least 11 years old on my desk here. That is my like office TV. That thing has served just fine. Obviously, it doesn't have 4K or anything, but it does the job. And up until recently, I just finally got this changed out in my car like a year ago. But prior to that, I was using it was a regular CD player deck, but it also had a wire attachment that ran into the glove box that supported iPod Fats, like the big, bulky iPods. And that was the only thing you could plug into it. It had no other, it didn't even have like a USB port, didn't even have an aux port. It was the only thing you could plug in. So I had this big, bulky, dumb wire, and I had this, years after losing it, I found my iPod Fat again. Still works.
Nice.
And for a while, that was the only way I was able to get music into my car because I don't have any fucking CDs. I can't play those. But I finally went out and bought like an actual newish stereo system for not a lot of money. Apparently, it doesn't cost much to get a fucking touchscreen stereo system in your car anymore.
You need to get a CD that has a wire attached to it that plugs into the headphone jack of.
I remember that. I remember that thing.
Did they make them with CDs? I had the cassette one. I never had a CD.
I don't know if they did the CD one, but I had the cassette one for sure.
Like
I had that in my old truck.
It seems like it wouldn't really work with the CD, just spinning around.
Yeah, it can't spin with the wire. That's not good.
I have so much old tech I can't go through all of it. So
Do you use it regularly, like incorporated in your everyday system?
Yeah, or just in my life. I mean, my phone is still like an iPhone 5 or 6 or whatever, which is probably not that old.
But I feel like with phones, like that stuff gets phased out so quickly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it feels ancient. Every time I use somebody else's phone, I'm like, oh wow, that's snappy. My phone is pretty old. It takes like I push a button and then go get a sandwich and then push another letter as I'm texting somebody before it registers. I've got a lot of old electronics gear that I use for repair stuff. These speakers I'm using are these Klipsch Pro Media, like 2.1 speakers that I've had since the dawn of speakers.
Yeah, but that's speakers age well. Like
They
you
do.
can.
Really well.
I've repaired
mine are-
them. I've replaced the transistors on them. I love these speakers.
Hey, you don't have to show off. I'm just saying.
Can you see me stretching out over here? No, I like speakers and sound systems. Aside from the ones that are pure digital, are also pretty not so hard to repair if you get in there. A bunch of old stuff. I like older non-digital stuff just because you can repair it, and once you're in the digital realm with most stuff, forget it. Good thing I have this pop
You know
screen.
what
I
they
just
say?
spit.
You know what they say now? It's just
What?
like everything's just like digital now.
You know what they're
Like,
saying? Like everything, like
it's
digital.
like, everything's just digital
Everything.
now.
It's all just
digital.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And I mean, I'm still putting all my photos on zip drives and running them around town.
That seems like a bad idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't agree with that idea at all.
Jazz drives. You guys ever use a jazz drive?
Hell yeah.
No.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
is. Never
Yeah.
heard of it.
Oh yeah, 100 megs on a zip drive.
Those
What
are
was it,
purple,
Jazz?
right?
Five-
Weren't they purple?
Mine were gray. I think zip discs were blue or purple. Jazz drives were a little bit bigger, and then they had DVD RAM drives, which had a little sliding door. They looked like a cassette with a disc in it, and had a little sliding door, and you could write to the RAM disc.
I don't remember DVD RAM. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
They were weird. All right, that's a good place to end on old, obsolete technology. Repair
It's
it.
like us.
If you can't repair it, you don't own it. That's what they say. So that means it is time for corrections. If you've got corrections, send them into beastcast@giantbomb.com. That is beastcast@giantbomb.com. Abby Russell. I'm gonna assume we batted a perfect show, but if by chance we did not, okay, that's pretty good, right? We don't need a record scratch. I could just
Not bad.
This time I'm gonna start the end of the show a little earlier. So watch this. I'm gonna time it so I don't have to pad the back end of the show this time. But if you do have a correction, like if, I don't know, say the PlayStation 5 did not confirm whether the old controllers will work with it or not, you can send it into Beastcast, or Sony didn't confirm that, beastcast@giantbomb.com. That's going to do it for this week's show. Abby Russell, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Sorry about my speaking chair.
I didn't hear it for a really long time. You must have been going through efforts.
Very hard to not squirm, and it's legitimately hard for me. I'm squirmy.
Well, thank you very much for not squirming. Alex Navarro.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad there was a creak underpinning that whole bit right there. Fantastic.
Jeff Bakalar, the one and only.
Thanks a lot, everyone. This was great.
My favorite part of the podcast is having Jeff on. And a lot of people don't know that. It's really
Jesus.
It's really lovely to see and hear him.
Jeff, we would never know each other if we didn't do this podcast. It's been nice having you as a coworker.
Is this goodbye?
Yeah, it's been a great
For this
run.
week.
It's been a great run with Jeff Bakalar here. We're really gonna miss him. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back next week. Happy birthday if it's your birthday out there. I want everybody to stay safe, stay sane, find your place of comfort, and try to stay within it. And we're all gonna get through this one together. So it seems. Together apart is what they keep saying. Thanks everybody. You've been listening to the Giant Beastcast. We'll be back. Hold on, you gotta wait for it. There's only 10 more seconds. We'll be back next week.